Derf. Toff. Peed.
Derf
Peed. I love the Derf Taff Peed crowd.
I think someone actually did reverse the song. I think I saw a video like
Derf Taff Peed.
Oh, you saw a Derf Taff Peed video?
Yeah, dude. I'll have to share it with you.
I love words that phonetically backward, like actually like phonetically backwards, like when you take speech and you reverse it and it makes something. I know how to say something really weird backwards that if somebody wants to reverse this, like take a clip and reverse what I'm about to say, you'll hear what I'm. So listen.
Okay.
Nefer schnazi gozlip. If you reverse that, you will hear me say the doggies are chirping. I shit you not. Nefer schnazi gozlip is the doggies are chirping backwards. Sonically. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound anything like the doggies are chirping. You reverse that shit. Nefer schnazi gozlip. That's how it sounds. The doggies are chirping.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't believe.
You don't believe me?
I don't believe it.
Dude, you could fucking do it right now, TJ.
Maybe I could.
You could pull up fucking whatever audition right now.
All right.
Record me saying Nefer schnazi gozlip.
All right, I'm doing it.
All right, fair
Okay,
enough.
all right.
I'm fucking
and then
doing
reverse
it.
that
He's
shit.
pulling it up right
and you
now.
tell me I'm wrong.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Hopefully-
Audition is about to open.
Audition-
Everybody
is-
else has to be quiet.
Audition is opening now. Okay.
All right, silence us, DJ.
Hold on, I have to change some settings to make it work with.
Okay, we'll be muted, Paul, so you'll have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
It's
mute.
gonna be
I
you.
will mute
All
me
right.
and Scotty.
I got to give a good performance
Well,
of it.
we could just shut the fuck up for a second, Scotty.
No,
I mean, we
let's
don't have
fuck.
to-
No, mute it, TJ.
Oh, okay. I'll mute us.
I don't want any excuses from Paul.
Paul, is that your mic?
Check, check. Yep,
Okay.
I'm live.
Go.
Nefer schnazi gozlip.
All right.
All right, reverse
All
it.
right, I got it. So hold on. Let me. I'm not exactly sure how to reverse it in this program.
It's got to be a way.
Hold on.
There
Let me.
must be a way.
There must be a way.
I'm sure there is. Let's see. Hold on. Let me look up a quick tutorial on how to do that.
All right. I guess what?
I've never reversed
you
audio
said-
here. Before.
you said you had a-
reverse
a
audio.
you said you had a
in
Paul test?
Audition.
Well, the reason I know this is because it's a lyric from an old Apple Nasty song. The doggies are chirping, and we reversed it as part of
All right.
an extra song, and that line
Okay, I got it.
became a meme
All
in my
right, well,
friends.
never mind. We
I
got it.
just hold
Okay.
on. Let me just let me reverse it back so we can hear it front ways to make sure it's right.
Okay.
So here we go. There it is.
All right. Nefer schnazi gozlip. Okay. Nefer schnazi gozlip. Okay.
Okay. So there it is.
Okay.
Now I'm going to effects. I'm going to reverse.
Okay.
Okay, let's reverse it.
All right. Let's
Is
hear
it
it.
going to say the doggies are chirping? Let's see.
Doggies on chirping.
See?
Doggies on chirping.
It sounds
Chirping.
more like
The doggies
the
on.
doggies
It's not
on
perfect.
chirping.
It's
to
not
me.
perfect, but you gotta admit it's closer than you thought it was gonna be.
It was.
Yeah, it is closer. I mean,
See?
It was.
You
All right.
see? Play it again. Play it again.
Vindicated.
The doggies on chirping. The doggies are chirping. Yep.
It sounds like you're Dutch. It sounds like you're saying with a Dutch accent.
doggies
The
on
doggies are
chirping.
surfing.
Yeah, the doggies are surfing. It's what it
It
kind of
sounds
sounds
more
like.
like surfing.
Yeah, but you gotta
Yeah.
admit. Gotta admit.
The doggies are surfing.
Let's
dude.
see. Let's just do a. Okay, so
You
like
want me to try it again?
the doggies are chirping.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Just stop that
Yeah,
and redo
yeah.
it.
Yeah, you just do that. Say the doggies
okay,
are
me?
chirping, and we'll hear
Okay.
what it sounds like.
Okay.
And it should sound like that Nefer Goslip or whatever the fuck. All right, so I'm muting me and Scotty.
Okay.
Mute. Record.
The doggies are chirping.
Okay.
Waveform
right.
looks pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean it's a similar waveform for sure. Okay, so
Let's hear it front ways first.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
The doggies are chirping. Okay, that's the doggies are chirping. Pretty close. The See?
Damn,
Never
dude.
schnazi goslip. Never schnazi goslip. Yep.
There you go.
There it is, baby.
All right.
First
Well,
Nazi
fair enough,
gossip.
I guess. Fair enough.
You learned something, dude. And see, that's such
I
a better
learned a
way.
new thing.
That's a better way to banter into the show because I was going to be all sour and proclaim a Paul Evans.
Paul Even. I thought it was a Paul test.
Oh, the Paul test.
A Paul test. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's better. Yeah, a Paul test. But you know what? Bygones are bygones. Let's do a great show. Nefer
Okay.
schnazi goslip to everybody today.
Nefer Schnazi Goslip.
Nefer Schnazi Goslip.
Schnazi Goslip.
Yeah, I know what the Paul test was anyway.
Oh, whatever, TJ. Don't you want to just? You're not going to even take my option of
Nah,
burying the
No,
sour
because you know
candy?
what? I don't. I want it. I want to do it.
You want the sourness?
Yeah, I want the sour. Come on. Sour is your best flavor,
You
Paul.
want the sweet? Paul,
Fuck.
I try
Paul
to be
gave you
sweet.
sweet.
Fuck this positive shit. Get back into that angry mindset.
Sour Paul.
I'm not going to
dude.
let you drag me down.
Sitting
TJ.
out on that porch while I'm in here sleeping,
You piece of shit.
and you're out there just
crying.
like, "Where's TJ?"
You piece of shit.
Paul, you gonna take that dude? He's fucking now. He made you. Now he's almost saying he made you sit out on there on fucking purpose.
Dude, I'll be honest, I had no idea, and I'm pretty sure that
You did.
Chantix is already fucking up my sleeping
Whatever,
cycle.
TJ.
Well, I do remember that not that long ago, and I don't remember where it was. It might have been on a flash ride. It might have been on a main show. We argued, and TJ was like being all butt mad because me and Scotty were making fun of him for answering the door in a blanket when we're all ready to
Yeah,
work.
which I did today.
And you were like, "Oh, that only happened once." Well, again.
well,
today,
now it's happened twice.
Yeah, no, it's happened more than twice.
Okay, fine, whatever.
That's
The
at least
sleeping Yeti yet
4
again.
or 5 times.
I've been out on the fucking porch for an hour. I think TJ's gone because his car's gone out of the fucking driveway. So I think TJ went to go get cigarettes or he's out eating a fucking po' boy somewhere. Right? Scotty didn't show up. At least Scotty had a fucking valid excuse. TJ had no fucking excuse. And the end result was Paul sitting on the back porch for an hour going, "What the fuck? Did the show get canceled? What happened? Did I forget when we were meeting today?"
Dude, I was fucking... I don't know what happened, because I woke up around like 8:30 or something. I went to bed last night around 2. I woke up at 8:30 this morning, and I fucking had this crazy coughing fit where I thought I was going to fucking die, and I coughed so hard I basically passed out. And then the next thing I knew, I heard a knock at the door, like... And I look at my clock, and it's like 2:07. And then I fucking... I'm like, oh shit, at least they're late. And then I
What
open the
time?
door, and then I hear Paul say, like, "Have you been here the whole time, TJ?" I'm like, whole time? I guess Paul's been out there a while.
Why
What
wouldn't I
time,
be?
TJ? What time
What?
did you go to bed?
2 or 3, maybe.
You slept for 12 fucking hours, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
You must have been fucking sick, man. There's no way.
I think it's the Chantix, dude. I really do.
Do you have crazy dreams?
I did. You know what?
Oh.
I had a dream that I was meeting... I guess it was Chelsea's family, but they were all Asian. And, like, there was this little Asian woman, and she's like, at first she hated me, but then I brought her some Chinese food. And then she was all like, "Oh, give me a hug. I love you. Oh, good son-in-law. Yes."
You have
Like,
racist dreams.
I do.
You could just buy the love of
And there
any
was-
Chinese person.
Oh,
with
thank you
food.
for Mugu Guy Pan, TJ. I love you now. I love you long time.
And there was all these other Chinese people around, and they were all like kind of like perplexed by her behavior, but they were like, "We got to follow her because she's the matriarch of the family."
Oh,
so
shit.
Wow, you got all kinds of assumptions about the the cultural like
I guess so.
standing of Asians in your dreams. Like they all have to follow one old lady because she's the matriarch.
She
Apparently
did.
that's a Chinese thing. Apparently they can all be bought off with some mushu pork.
hey,
know.
I could be bought off with mushu pork.
Well, yeah.
So is that
but you're
really a
not
racist
Asian.
assumption?
You're not Asian. You're not Asian though.
I'm
Tina.
just applying to
You're a
them the
fat
same
fuck.
standard.
I can be bought off with any number of foods.
Me too.
I mean, foods soothe the savage beast.
We'll make you a grilled cheese, Paul.
I swear to God, if I'm and this, I may not maybe giving this away is a bad thing, but if you guys ever do something wrong that you know is going to piss me off and you want to smooth it over, if there's a pizza involved, I'm instantly better.
Yeah. So
You know what I
next,
mean?
Next time Paul is pissed off, which you know,
Yeah.
like
We're
I should have
sorry,
just
Paul. I have a pizza though.
I should have just gone right into my room from hearing Paul was out there for a while and just been like, "I'm just ordering pizza."
Yeah, if you would have done that, dude, I probably wouldn't be great on the show today because I'd be all ready to take a greasy pizza nap.
Paul would have
but
come in and been like, "God fucking damn it, TJ!
I'd be a sweet boy.
Paul, we got pizza."
I'll be like, "Yeah, that's great. Social media hoaxes. What do you know?"
Whoa, man! Ooh, I'm gonna drop a big social media hoax later.
Oh yeah, it's time. Well, we might as well get
time.
into it. We're about 10 minutes into the show. I guess that's good enough banter.
Oh man, 10
So it's
minutes of
time
banter.
for some social media hoaxes.
I think this fucking podcast is a fucking hoax, dude.
Probably is.
Everything's
Clearly.
a fucking hoax, dude. When I was researching this show, I pretty much
Yeah,
realized
this is a Scotty show, so
I pretty much-
prepare yourselves for some boredom, huh?
Damn.
Whoa,
TJ.
TJ.
Wow, way to be supportive of your cast.
I ain't
TJ.
supportive of
fuck?
Scotty, dude. He might be my cast, but he's my
fuck,
brother
dude?
first. So that means he gets constant bullshit.
What
Jesus.
have I ever done to you, TJ? What have I ever said to you? What have I ever even laid a hand on that fucking head of yours?
Oh, you know what? I have a Scott Stevens, dude.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Fuck this. I got a Scott Stevens before we even start.
Okay.
So, dude, last night...
Hey, TJ.
Yes.
Why don't you fucking look at me? Look
All
me in the
right.
Yeah,
fucking
look him in
eye.
the eye.
While you fucking tear me down, dude.
All right, I will. So last night...
Now nobody can see you, TJ. You got to look him in the eye.
Well,
and
I can't... The mic doesn't reach like that, dude.
That's
All right.
your fault. You put the mic there.
Fuck,
Whatever.
TJ, what you got to say to me, man?
This is literally the only place it could be. All right, so I'm going to look your eye in the fucking screen.
Well, I'm looking
there.
at you in real fucking life, TJ.
All right, well, I'll look at you occasionally, which is about as much as anyone should anyway. Anyway, so last night we're doing a session 0 of Dank Dungeons and Drunken Dragons for our new campaign. I'm not going to give anything away, but there is a pencil shortage for some fucking reason. So I go to the pencil bucket, and I try to find... I don't have a fucking sharpener anywhere. I got a million pencils. Almost none of them are sharpened. I didn't know I was going to need it. So...
Oh, well, I didn't know I was going to need it.
Usually Stevie brings like 100 mechanical pencils to these fucking things, which I'm just going to go do. I'm going to go buy a big-ass fucking bag of those fuckers so this doesn't happen again.
TJ, as you
But, so I finally find a pencil. It's nice and sharpened. I come back to the table. I start writing out some stuff on my character sheet. Next thing I know, Scotty shows up, fucking snatches up the pencil like, I don't need a pencil. It's mine. My pencil. And he writes with it, so I'm like, fuck, I got to go find a new pencil. So I fucking go back. I find a mechanical pencil. I go back and start writing again. Scotty fucking breaks his goddamn pencil. And he takes my fucking mechanical pencil.
That is pretty shit.
I know.
That is pretty shitty.
look, I needed the fucking pencil.
Is that how it went down?
Yeah.
Damn, Scotty.
Eventually, I got my mechanical pencil back, and I made him fucking sharpen a pencil with like a knife or something. But still, there was a lot of pencil.
Well, I was done right. I didn't need it anymore.
Yeah, we had pencil drama at session 0.
Yeah, there was a lot of pencil. I mean, like, you never know when you need a pencil.
Why do you have
Because you
fucking-
don't want to put.
Why didn't you
Normally,
have a fucking
I
pencil
never
sharpener?
Because
Why
I
didn't you have
never
one?
fucking draw or write with a pencil. I love.
Perfectly reasonable explanation.
Oh yeah, you're a perfectly reasonable person, dude. Now
I am.
You know what? Maybe you had me up until that point because you just fucking know that's bullshit.
No,
Everyone in this audience knows you're not a fucking reasonable person, TJ. You by your very definition, the essence of TJ is not reasonable.
Dude, Scotty, do you realize what TJ has done to the both of us?
What?
Before we've been able to start this show, the lifeblood of what makes us all our money, he's pissed us off. He's taken his time to make sure that we both enter into this show not in a good mood, but in a sour mood. He's done it.
It's not gonna ruin
Systematically, he's done it. He's torn down my mood and yours, and now we're both pissed off, and now he's going to go
but you know
time
what,
for the
TJ?
show.
You know
Time
what?
for the show.
Hey,
See?
Paul, you know what, though? I got the ultimate fucking...
What's yours? What's up, Scotty?
I got the ultimate trump card, TJ.
Trump card, huh?
Hey, TJ.
What's up?
Every day you take Chantix is one day closer. That sweet nicotine fix when you go sit down. Oh, I'm stressed out, TJ. And all I want to do is go sit in my little rocking chair, pull out an American Spirit from that lime green pack, light it up, get on my phone, just be tweeting.
Oh,
and
man,
arguing
dude, he
with
had to
people.
vape during this, dude. Did you
But
see
then-
that?
But then one day you're gonna go to you're gonna inhale real deep.
I'm gonna tell
nothing.
you. Let me tell you a secret.
Real deep, nothing, TJ.
Yeah. I'll tell you a fact, Scotty. I actually have not smoked a cigarette today.
You haven't been smoking?
Smoking.
Yeah, I haven't smoking a
I have
cigarette
not
today.
smoking a single smoke.
I wish smoking was the past tense.
I
but it's
have not smoking a.
But I haven't. I have not smoked a cigarette today. So.
Well, this ain't about your personal life. It's about social media. Hoaxes.
It is. So all right. So
Well, you are a hoax though.
to the business at hand.
TJ quitting cigarettes is the hoax, dude.
Probably. I don't
TJ,
know. I don't want to be on Chantix again, so I hope this is the time that actually fucking.
Well, I'm rooting for you, TJ. I'm in your
what is
corner.
a social media hoax, TJ? What is that, buddy?
So I mean, is it just a hoax that's propagated through social media?
that's mainly it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll just define this really quickly for you guys. Social media, that's just websites or applications that enable users to create and share content, participate in social networks. So Twitter, Facebook. I mean, everyone knows. Let's be honest.
Everyone knows what a fucking. Yeah.
Everyone, but just for the sake.
Dude,
of
look at the Google
information.
Plus logo on there.
Oh yeah, that
Like that's a thing.
Remove that.
Is Yelp a social network?
Yes, people consider it a social network.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. You
What's
can have an
Ning?
account
I never
there.
even heard of Ning or Foursquare or Clout.
Ning?
Ning. I see a
You,
Ning.
you had a Ning community.
Clout sounds dope.
I did? Oh, yeah.
Why don't I have a Clout account?
Clout, yeah.
I don't know.
Is that like German? Or
I don't care what it is.
I don't know, man.
whatever. There's a lot of them.
I'm
hoax
making one.
Is a humorous or malicious deception. So people think that a hoax might always necessarily be bad. So
it can be humorous as well.
It can be humorous. It can be
course,
something
right.
that's not necessarily negative or bad. It's just fooling people into believing bullshit.
It's like a dude calling in a prank call to the news or whatever the fuck,
Yeah,
and telling
you
him
know-
something happened that didn't.
A tiger's running down Main Street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of bullshit. All the zoo animals from the zoo escaped. Shit like that. That's
Right.
happened. And that's actually a very famous story. I think it was in the Chicago
So,
Tribune.
like a bomb threat is a hoax.
Yes.
I mean, unless you've actually planted a bomb.
Well, if
Right.
you've actually, well,
Yeah, then it's not a hoax, but-
that's not a hoax then.
Yeah.
I think.
but
you're-
if you call in like a bomb threat, like like
With the express purpose of just making
causing
people
havoc,
inconvenience.
or like sometimes people do it for
missed their exam,
yeah, like oh shit, I didn't study for today's test.
it's
so
legitimately happened.
I'm gonna call in a bomb.
Right.
It's not a good idea. Don't do that.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. So, we now live in the era of social media and on-demand platforms. We have seen news and information spread faster than ever before.
And also misinformation.
Of course, misinformation. While this enabled instant connectivity and communication, it also naturally led to the ease of spreading false information and stories faster than any point in human history.
Dude, not to interrupt you, Scotty,
Go ahead.
but I was recently the victim of what you're talking about right there.
I saw that on your Twitter.
Yeah, on my Twitter, yeah. I woke up one day and a couple of people that I follow, it somehow ended in my feed, this kind of spurious, I guess, obviously spurious article about HBO pulling down Michael Jackson's documentary, the Leaving Neverland documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to find a couple of other pretty equally as kind of shady websites that were saying it. So I thought, oh, this is breaking. I'll just go with this. And I made a big old tweet about it, and it got all popular, too. A bunch of people retweeted it. And turns out it was a total fucking falsehood. Just absolutely untrue.
Well, there's a number of ways, and I'm actually in this episode going to point out to you probably why you were deceived.
Of course.
And it's unfortunate, but I mean, like, look, at this point, dude, at a certain point, it's like, what was that, those tabloids you see, like National Enquirer, like the Weekly World News, where it's like, Bat Boy found, it's like, it used to be really obvious to people what a hoax was. It was like, okay, that's bullshit. But now those lines have been blurred significantly.
Right.
I mean, so at one time, you needed just basically to have your hoax go viral in essence. You need to convince a TV or radio station, whatever, to take interest in your alien abduction story or your piece of toast that resembles Jesus. There's only so much airtime to fill, and there were gatekeepers. Now anyone can have a hot take or break a story. People love to watch, and we live in a time where you can live vicariously through the deeds and travels or tribulations or whatever of influencers. I mean, even their criminal activity, as we've seen with YouTubers that have gone to basically to prison now or jail or at least threatened with that, abusing their kids.
Scotty,
Yeah.
I just found a newspaper article that I'm pretty sure.
That's what I was actually thinking of.
No. This is a newspaper article that actually verifies that a bat child was, in fact, found in a cave.
Dude, I'm not even joking about this. Since we've got the Weekly World News up there, I grew up reading this magazine.
Dude, I loved Weekly World News.
My mom, she believed about 90% of the shit in this magazine.
What?
I think she just liked to go along with it.
I can understand that because I kind of feel like that's how my uncle is with aliens.
Yeah.
Like, I know that he is too smart to really believe in that shit.
Yeah.
But I think it's just fun for him to
yeah.
believe in it.
I get a similar aura off of my mom. You guys have met my mom.
Yeah,
She's not a total fucking
No, your mom
rube or anything.
Your mom's a
But
fucking sharp lady.
I think she
so.
thought it was fun to play devil's advocate with the obscenely stupid shit that was in. And this magazine was just cover to cover fun
Rife
to
with
read.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish this was still around.
And I think the fact that this type of magazine isn't around has allowed this type of stuff to creep back into the narrative.
Yeah, now this if the modern day equivalent of this would be like some weird Facebook ad,
Right,
that
but
you
it's
click
all-
on and then it's
It's just moved where the eyeballs move. Like print media, for the most part, has taken a huge downturn. So these people have logically just moved into the online platforms where you can have this on demand.
Right.
And the proliferation of it spreads even faster. And like before, someone's actually had to spend some money on this if they really want. I mean, obviously there's kids and shit that flip through it at the store, but now it's like you just go to a site and they make money off you through advertising.
Right.
So now there's this. I mean, obviously they've taken steps to combat that, but you can only do so much because this shit spreads like wildfire.
Yeah. But even back in the day, there were people that believed this weekly world news shit. There were true believers. There were people out there actually thinking they found a bat child somewhere, you know?
Well, I mean...
So it's not a whole lot different in that way.
No, I acknowledge that fully. There's people that, if you print it, they'll read it and believe it. You know, I guess it's always... So why don't you open the first one, TJ, which is... this is the latest kind of scam that's been going around.
Yeah, this is the latest scam right here.
Whoa. Damn, TJ.
Where'd you find this?
I don't know. I was trying to find some ridiculous internet ads, and for some reason this came up, and I'm like, I'm just going to put this up.
This is
funny.
purposeful.
It's pretty funny. Okay, so yeah, the first one is... that's not it.
Wrong.
Here we go. Is this it?
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't change your birth year to 2007 on Twitter.
And this is actually as of March 27th, 2019, so this is pretty fucking recent.
Recent. I'm assuming that you don't want to change it because then you'd be too young for Twitter?
Yes. So
Okay.
if you go down, you were promised a new timeline color options. You ended up getting blocked from the social networking site. So people spreading false information. They say, hey, if you change your birthday to 2007, you get all the old nostalgic Twitter looks. It's actually fire. So someone that's basically probably a bot just spreading misinformation. Maybe this person actually exists.
So basically these people are like, yo, if you change your birthday on Twitter to 2007, you get all kinds of cool shit.
By U.S. law, you have to be at least 13 to access these platforms.
Right. So if you actually do that, Twitter's like, oh no, you're too young for Twitter.
You're 12.
And it kicks you off the site.
Oh, man, I just had an authoritarian fucking, streak run through me, dude. I think that you should have to be 18 or older to do these fucking sites. And I think, dude, I don't want to take away kids'
Grandpa
access,
Paul.
but I think there needs to be a kinder Twitter or some shit, like a little training social media platform where all the fucking little children are at.
Oh, you kids, get off Paul's lawn!
Yeah, get off of my lawn, you little motherfuckers.
Paul, we're gonna buy you a walker, dude.
I'm fine with it. I want one. Give it to me.
Here's a person who fell for it. Fell for the oldest trick in the book. Is it really the oldest? It's it's kind of a really new trick in the book. Changed my birth year to 2007 because of some tweet that said your Twitter changes color and got suspended for some hours for being below 13 years.
Stupid ass. This is a rather harmless hoax, though, honestly, in the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all you've really done is take away Twitter from somebody, so...
But the viral element here, so it seems that the viral lie stems from a tweet said Money Evening that received more than 20,000 retweets and 37,000 likes. The tweet said that changing your birth year makes your Twitter feed all colorful.
Cool.
Then, of course, Twitter, which, and look at this. So there's about 1,800 likes here, but compare that to the lie. 20,000 retweets, 37,000 likes, and Twitter basically
So the misinformation completely drowns out the attempt to counter it from the source.
And no one's even looking at this anyways, and no one's retweeting this because who gives a shit about
Nobody
this?
follows Twitter support.
It's just like, dude, hey, you heard what Twitter support's tweeted lately? Yeah, no one said no one ever. No one gives a shit.
No, Twitter supports latest super viral tweet.
It's ridiculous.
Like, if Twitter wants to convey something to you that's important, couldn't they just put it on the top of the site or something?
Yes,
they should have the ability to send a tweet.
We're
to
pinning a
everybody.
tweet to the top of everybody's fucking Twitter feed, letting them know, hey, there's some misinformation going around about this. Don't do it because it's stupid.
Well, I mean, at this point on the platform, and maybe they could do that for site things like Twitter, hoaxes like this. But I mean, there's so much false information on Twitter.
Yeah, there's but I mean, this is a thing that relates to Twitter.
No, I agree with you on that.
It seems like this instance would be a time to break that out. But
I actually support this hoax because at the end result was less dumb people and less kids pretending to be older than 13 years old on Twitter. So fuck it. Yeah, I support it. We should do this again.
Paul wants a new version of this.
Paul actually supports the hoax. Okay, well, I did not expect that take, but fair enough.
Let's keep these fucking hoaxes rolling, folks.
Yeah, let's let them roll.
Keep the good hoax roll. All right, so
another one. This is a classic.
Delete System 32.
This is a
dude.
classic fucking scam that people just fell for forever. So about Delete System 32 is a popular trolling scheme used to, I'm sorry, it's just so funny when I think about this, to hoax inexperienced PC users in deleting Microsoft Windows system directory called System 32. It's essential to the running of the Windows OS, and without it, the computer would not work at all. So here's the origin, which of course, surprise, surprise, looks like it came from 4chan.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I mean, not shocking to no one. So the System32 file originally appeared on Windows 2000. As a trolling scheme, System32 is typically presented as a virus, and instructions are given to how to delete it without prompting a warning message. So it's basically when Windows is like, you don't want to do this, they just tell you, look, that's a virus thing.
Right.
You're actually you're gonna bypass that.
Right.
So of course this spread through 4chan. Basically, knowing there's a bunch of idiots and old people and shit on the internet, they spread these. They basically go through social media and other sites posting, "Oh, protect yourself, protect yourself."
Oh, dude, look at this. I love this fucking shit. Okay, new fags, listen up. When Microsoft was first getting started, they knew they wouldn't make enough money just from the profits of their operating system. Everybody knows people pirate Windows, so they had to get creative. A guy named Chris Liddell came up with the idea to put a folder called System32 in the Windows folder that literally slows down your machine on purpose. System32 holds 32 gigabytes of deleted files, internet history, uninstalled programs, and other worthless crap that intentionally clogs up your machine. Why did they do it? Because Microsoft owns several PC cleaning tools, like tune-up utilities, Norton Antivirus, etc. More money for them. B isn't cool with that, however. Here's how to outsmart those assholes once and for all. And then he explains how to delete System32.
Yeah, and people have fallen for this. There's slightly less destructive versions of this that I've run into, particularly in the early days of multiplayer online gaming. The Alt F4 thing was used a lot.
God, dude.
You know, Alt F4 on Windows, force closes whatever the top, app is, and so you'd be talking to somebody like, "Oh man, the match is real laggy," and you'd be like, "Dude, you just got to disable this graphical option. Just hit Alt F4, and then you'll see so and so has left the match." I mean, it still works. People still pull that on people in games, and it still works.
Yeah, you only fall for that once, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, Jesus.
Well, unless you're the president.
Unless you're the president of the United States of America.
The next one is just a common one I've seen for so long, which is pay to use Facebook.
Is Facebook implementing user fees? Facebook soon plans to charge fees to users of the social network.
So Snopes, which is a site we're going to see a lot tonight, has rated this false because they're not
false.
Because that's
But
that's how they make
Snopes
money.
Snopes is false, so this must be
Hey,
true.
we're going to hear about that later.
Oh, okay.
So in December 2009, Facebook users were hit with yet another hoax when messages began circulating advising them that on June 30th, 2010, the popular social networking site would be instituting a monthly charge of $4.99 and entreating them to visit a particular Facebook group supposedly set up to protest the impending charge. Well, guess what? They just wanted you to join that group.
And then let me guess.
It's just too easy.
Once they joined the Facebook group, they were barraged with advertisements and other assorted crap.
Never. Why would that happen, TJ? No, I actually remember running into this one. I don't use Facebook anymore, but I did probably in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
For a while.
Well, it says it was in December of 2009, so you probably ran into it around then.
I remember, well, it might have been later than that, but I remember I have a family member that's particularly into like conspiracy shit, and I remember her being
And they were
a big
circulating
part of
this.
Oh, dude, so many people fell for this.
Yeah.
From Saturday morning, Facebook will become chargeable. If you have at least 10 contacts, send them this message. Wonder why they want to do that. In this way, we will see that you are an avid user. Your logo will become blue and will remain free. So it just... Basically, they're just fucking tricking you.
So if you join this group, it'll magically make you not be charged?
Yeah, spread the bullshit quicker, and then guess what? You won't have to pay. So it's just getting idiots to spread information.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or to conglomerate idiots on a Facebook page that then starts sending them ads for shit. It's just a way to herd dumb people into a big ad space so that you can advertise shit that they don't want to them. It's like...
So this, and here's another version. And then we'll move on. So now it's official. It has been published in the media.
No link.
Yeah, where's the link? Facebook has just released the entry price.
$9.10 just to keep your Facebook subscription.
Is that pounds? So $5.99 pound.
$5.99.
To keep your subscription of status set to private. If you pay, how do people fall for this? If you paste this message on your page, you'll be offered free. I said paste, not share. If not tomorrow, all your posts can become public.
It's just like playing on people's obsession with Facebook, because there's some people that just like live their whole fucking lives on it, and they're like, "What?"
I love these all caps ones too.
Oh yeah. Well, that makes it look more official and more urgent as well.
Yeah, because now, like, you can ignore some bullshit with proper punctuation and shit, but this?
No.
How are you going to ignore this?
This is somebody that really wants you to know something's happening.
So there was a lot of different versions of this. So, like, basically a lot of hoaxers say, hey, look what these other hoaxers are doing. I'll do that same shit.
Well, if you have a question about, is Facebook going to charge people money, maybe there's a source, maybe there's a place you could go to get a definitive answer. And I actually was able to find that definitive answer. If you could pull up the net. Okay, so this is Facebook's help center.
Does it cost money to use Facebook? Is it true that Facebook is going to charge to use the site? No. Facebook is a free site. Of course, it's a social media network that you have to pay to join. Like, unless there's some kind of super specialized service that it offers, or it's like exclusive to a very particular community or whatever, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It would be the death knell of Facebook.
Right.
It's already hemorrhaging users.
No one even wants to be on Facebook anymore.
They're in no position
Except
to charge
people.
for it.
Right.
They're having trouble to get people using it for fucking just free. So it's just stupid.
The market for social media right now is totally saturated. And, like, look, when these platforms exploded, like, everyone wanted to be a part of it. You wanted as many friends as possible. And then people just kind of realized that these kinds are kind of destructive and give people this kind of warped perception of reality. And a lot of people have pulled off of social media. That's actually a trend with millennials. We're actually seeing now is the reverse. So it's like people could adopt this stuff fast enough 10 years ago. Now people are actually saying, hey, maybe I shouldn't even be a part of these platforms anymore.
Yeah, this kind of sucks, actually.
And they do.
They definitely
Like,
suck.
by and large, like, is there a social media network that you think you enjoy more than you detest using?
No.
No.
I don't think there's one. If there wasn't like an actual like sort of business related need,
You wouldn't even be on them?
maybe Twitter, but only because it's like it's just such a cesspool. But
I see redeeming things on Twitter, but it's very rarely from individual
I think that
users.
my Twitter would look very different if I was just using it for my own personal use. It probably would just be a news aggregator, because that's basically what I almost want to use it for. But, you know, I end up making stupid tweets and getting in stupid Twitter arguments and bullshit.
Part of the problem, TJ.
We don't tip terrorists. What's this about?
So, if you play this video here...
Okay.
A waiter
Hold on, I
at
gotta turn
an
it up.
Odessa restaurant has turned a bad on-the-job experience into a story of hope.
Okay, so even with the volume maxed out on this, it's really not hitting too hard.
Okay, we can
So is it necessary for we watch this? Or
he actually talks in the interview. So if you maybe
Okay.
move it forward to just that part.
Now, the
Basically,
customers he served refused
dropped.
Saturday night.
My
so
stomach just dropped.
this is basically what he
And,
said happened.
okay,
Some people came in to the restaurant. They didn't really leave him a tip. They just basically said, and they wrote on the top of the receipt, "We don't tip terrorists."
we don't tip terrorists.
And then this is him actually being
I don't
interviewed.
think your waiter is a terrorist, dude.
Like,
And by the way, this happened on your birthday, Scotty.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Scotty that did this. This was at Scotty's birthday party in 2018.
Paul.
We're actually
We ate at this fucking place.
we're actually getting a Saltgrass Steakhouse
We are.
Around here.
Oh.
I never heard of it.
But I'm
Well, I
banned.
ain't eating
Unfortunately,
there.
I'm banned from it because let's just hear
Paul,
it.
it has salt right in the name. How could you not
I
eat
ain't
there?
eating there because they employ a terrorist.
Oh, right. My heart just dropped. I didn't know what to say or think in that moment, but there's hurt there, Khalil said. Yeah, whatever, terrorist. Go back to Al-Qaeda, you son of a bitch. So wait, what? So these people did this? So why is this in the hoaxes? Did this not actually happen? Did he fake this?
Go down a little bit. Because
Okay.
Okay, so it said, okay, right there. Khalil shared a photo of the receipt Facebook's on Saturday night, and since then it received more than 1,500 likes and more than 1,000 shares. The waiter says he shared the image because he wants to remind people that racism and hatred still exist. It was not about the money. It was never about the money. It's about shedding light on the issue I feel very passionate about.
He's
Khalil
full of
said.
shit, isn't he? Because we wouldn't be covering this
And,
if he
and then,
wasn't.
I always love this part. When I was reading this article, it's my favorite part. I just had to think, what would Jesus do in this situation? He said.
Lie. Make up a lie.
Waiter under fire for
no.
false racism claims. Says he's sorry, but has no reason. I know the reasons for his fucking actions.
So if you look here, you can actually see the hoax tips, like the receipt right here. So,
Right.
don't tip terrorists.
Don't hit no damn. We don't hit no fucking diary.
This basically gives you a short thing. According to local news sources, Khalil Kavil, his name has some fucking rhyme there, had been working as a waiter for the Saltgrass Steakhouse in Odessa, Texas, until an incident on July 14th ended it all. So basically just talking about the post again. So if you go down.
After a Twitter post by Cavill went viral, his managers did some investigating and covered a fake story.
So these people that actually, he said, did this were actually banned from all Saltgrass restaurants in the U.S.
Wow.
The CEO of the company is like, well, this is not something we tolerate here. They're banned for life.
And they didn't even do it.
Yep. Then you go down. So this is actually just a screenshot of
Yeah,
the
the
interview.
report he did and all this.
And this is actually the post.
Here's his big social media post.
Last night at work, I received this note from one of my tables. At the moment, I didn't know what to think, nor what to say. I was sick to my stomach. I shared this because I wanted people to understand that this racism and this hatred still exists. Although this is nothing new, it is still something that will test your faith. All day I've had to remind myself that Jesus died for these people too. I've decided to let this encourage me and fuel me to change the world the only way I know how. By lying to a bunch of people for social media points. Feel bad for me.
And also undermining the very thing that you're trying to fight against and giving ammunition to people that say that...
clearly he doesn't really give a shit, though. This is all about him. This is nothing about any sort of fucking... This is just... I need some way to virtue signal and some way to be a persecuted fucking victim, but I'm actually not, so I'll have to just make it up.
Yeah.
And how many times has it happened at this point?
So they investigate. There's no credibility to his accusation, so he keeps scrolling down. So then, after further investigation, we have learned that our employee fabricated the entire story. The customer has been contacted and invited back to a restaurant to dine on us. Actually, fuck you, COO Terry Turner.
They should eat for free for life.
Yeah, seriously. What's it going to cost the Saltgrass Steakhouse to give these people... anytime you come in, it's on us, and we're sorry for this stupid
Maybe not.
bullshit.
I mean,
One fucking free meal. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, at least give them a free meal a month or a week or something.
And the reason they rushed to judgment was because of the social media reaction.
Right.
So it's like these people were basically told, like, even though they did nothing, this guy made this up whole cloth. You're banned from this restaurant for life, and you're a piece of shit, basically. And how dare you do this racist bullshit?
Following their investigation, Cavill was terminated from his employment with the Saltgrass Steakhouse. The official public statement addressed the issue and explained that there's no tolerance policy for racism and harassment. As a result, Cavill has since come forward with an apology as well.
Sorry, guys. Sorry I lied to everybody for no good reason. Oops, I accidentally made a hoax. Sorry.
Apologies. Cavill has since spoken. Where can I read his fucking apology?
The next one.
All right. In an interview with Odessa America, Cavill apologized to a reporter because I did lie to you. I did write it. I don't have an explanation. I made a mistake. There is no excuse for what I did.
No, bullshit. There's been a bunch of news stories like this, and look, there's receipts that have gone viral for people just fucking making it rain on somebody. Like, I'm leaving this person that's normal, like a normal waiter, 20 grand because I'm rich.
It happens, yeah.
I mean, so this has just been a social media thing going on for a while. This guy saw an opportunity and is like, you know what? I bet you if I post.
Listen to this. To make issues murkier, locals began a GoFundMe page to raise funds for Cavill after the initial false report of racism. In fact, they managed to raise almost $1,000 for Cavill in the hopes to help him pay for his schooling after they believed he had been the victim of racism.
Wow. So he was already cashing in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I guess he returned the money when he was exposed.
Obviously. I'm sure GoFundMe demanded.
All right, here's more from him. I'm sorry. I deeply made a huge, big mistake.
That's weird.
I'm in the process of,
Did Donald Trump make this?
Of getting
I'm
that.
sorry. I made a huge, big mistake.
Huge.
I deeply made a huge, big mistake.
I
That's a
deeply
strange-
made a huge, big mistake.
Didn't
big.
just surface level make a big mistake. He made it deep.
I made a big saltgrass mistake house.
So I found out how many times this has been shared. So Cavill's post garnered more than 27,000 reactions.
27,000.
More than 21,000 shares. Many condemned the customer's actions. Some people even offered to pay the tip.
Fuck this shit, man.
Dude, man, wow.
What a piece of shit. What a total turd of a human being.
Yep. The list of bogus hate crimes in the Trump era is long. Of course, there's Jussie Smollett. Whoa.
Oh, shit.
What done happened? Headphones. In the wake of the arrest of actor Jussie Smollett, who was charged with staging his own racist, homophobic
And
attacks.
now charges have been dismissed against him. Of course,
Right, for bullshit reasons, though, just because he knows the right people and is connected.
Of course.
Here are just some of the other crimes that have been given prominent play by the media since the 2016 election, often accompanied by politicians decrying, "This is America today." These are all These are all things that turned out to be frauds.
Yep.
All of this. So just before the 2016 election, 111-year-old Hopewell Baptist Church was attacked with fire and graffiti that said, "Vote Trump." The political message of the vandalism is obviously an attempt to sway public opinion regarding the upcoming election, said Rep. Benny Thompson, Democrat from Mississippi. Turns out the arsonist was Andrew McClinton, 48, an African-American member of the church. I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember this one too.
I remember reading it and being like, this is going to turn out to be a hoax. But you know what? It's like you feel like a dick saying it.
Well, you can't like come out and just say it.
Right. You got to be like.
Sometimes it's not. So
yeah, and there was a bunch of attacks on churches in Louisiana, black churches in I forget
recently.
Yeah, very recently, and that turned out to be an actual white supremacist. So,
right. So you don't want to find yourself on the wrong side of history as an asshole that was undercutting an actual hate crime or something. But so it just leaves you. What foot do you stand on anymore?
Right, exactly. So Heil Trump and Fag Church were spray painted on St. David's Episcopal Church. It was the gay organ player who did it.
Oh my God.
So, man, some people in this country are just addicted to oppression and persecution, and when they can't actually find it in the wide world, they have to invent it for themselves.
It's not even that. It's almost like they personally want to be a victim of this. And it's like, I just haven't run into any real examples of this in my real life. So you know what? I'm going to paint Fag Church on the side of my church so that it looks like somebody cared enough about me being gay to do that.
Exactly. Yasmin Seaweed?
Well,
yeah.
If you actually read what he says, too.
What do you say? Go ahead.
I guess one of the driving factors behind me committing the act was I want other people to be scared with me. So like he basically talks before,
exactly.
like I'm really fucking scared about what's going on, and now I want other people to actually take notice.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously,
and I want to be at the center of it.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. I want to be at the center of a big story that breaks that hurts Trump.
Yasmin Seaweed, 18, told police that it's probably Saweed or Sawad or some shit, but I'm going to say Seaweed.
Nefer Schnazi Goslip.
Yep. Told police that 3 Donald Trump supporters harassed her and tried to steal her job on the number 6 train in New York City. But on December 1st, 2016, alleged hate crime fell apart 2 weeks later when Seaweed admitted she made the whole thing up because she'd been out drinking with friends and was afraid her strict Muslim Egyptian father would be angry.
And if you want to look at that,
wow.
And the next one's actually about this story. We have another Snopes article.
Oh, really?
Debunking that story we just read.
Oh, really? Okay.
That was a big story.
Should we go to that, or should we keep on with this? Because there's a lot. I mean, there's just a ton of them. I mean, look at this.
Well, that's why I just had you read those.
This is all the fake hate crimes.
And we're going to find out how many have been reported in recent years later on in the show. Not necessarily hate crimes, but social media hoaxes.
Muslim teen arrested for filing false report of hate crime. Yasmin Saweed, who claimed she was verbally assaulted by 3 men on a subway train, later admitted she made up the story to deceive her parents.
So this is the social media post.
So here's her post. Yeah, you want to read that?
Yeah. I initially was not planning on making a post about what happened yesterday, but you will probably be seeing a story about it on the news and in the newspaper tomorrow. And this person, by the way, is this total attention-seeking behavior as we see this, because this is just the beginning of the story. I take the train every single day, going to and coming from class, but yesterday something happened I never thought would happen to me. I was harassed on the subway last night, and it was just so dehumanizing. I can't speak about it without getting emotional. 3 white racists ripped the straps off my bag and attempted to yank my hijab off my head. They yelled disgusting slurs at me. I was so helpless and felt defenseless. Look, it's a fucking terrorist! Go back to your country! Take that rag off your head! And so many more. Trump's name was repeatedly said until it finally clicked in my head. No matter how quote-unquote cultured or Americanized I am, these people don't see me as American. It breaks my heart that so many individuals choose to be bystanders while watching me get harassed verbally and physically by these disgusting pigs. Trump America is real.
What a cunt.
And I witnessed it firsthand last night. What a traumatizing night. Please stay safe, everyone, and never let anyone take your rights away. Just thought I should share this with you all tonight.
So here's a drum beat that we hear over and over in social media. And here's a person that whipped all of that political frenzy up in at least 1,000 people at the time they took the screenshot of this.
Oh,
probably
if not
way more.
Way more.
Probably way, way more. And it was so that she could get away with getting out to drink with her friends. This is like it's absurd to me that this type of stuff doesn't come with some kind of punishment. If you go out and make an attention-seeking post that is then used as real news,
Shut up, faggot!
I'm on your side.
Shut your damn faggot mouth!
I'm on your side with
Whoa,
this.
dude, calm down. Calm down, Trump, dude.
Trump!
All right, Trump, dude.
Trump!
Oh, we like Trump. Trump good. Trump
Yeah.
good.
Shut your damn faggot mouth!
Trump good.
Leave Trump undeniable!
Trump good. Trump good. Trump
Yeah.
for life. Trump
We're
for
actually
life.
defending Trump here.
Trump for life.
Somebody tried to defame Trump. And we're pro-Trump now.
So actually, this story takes a weird turn. 'Cause, I mean, obviously, it comes out she's lies, and then she disappears, and then is found again.
So she basically just ran away from home.
yeah, she basically ran away to escape this bullshit and these
mean,
lies.
What a dumb fuck.
Dude, I mean, my favorite part of the story is not only does she have to be a victim, but she's got to fucking chastise the fictional people that just sat idly by and let it happen.
Oh, what's going
yeah.
on? Oh, Muslims being attacked.
It
Oh.
implicates an entire car full of people on a train that didn't exist, and it gets everybody else whipped up into a frenzy about a type of racism and hate crime that never happened.
Meanwhile, she's off getting drunk and having her fucking friend eat her pussy in the fucking women's bathroom and shit. Yeah, woo! My strict
Why are you
Muslim
home
family
late?
won't let. Like, if you're gonna come up with a lie for your
I was
strict Muslim
attacked by
family,
white racists.
you can't fucking say I was just lying for my family's sake when you've involved the national media and shit. Like, the only way my family will accept my explanation is if there was like some horrible attack by roving bands of Trump supporters.
In New York City. I mean, I'm sure there's Trump supporters in New York City, but I don't think they're roving bands.
Yeah, I don't
of
think
them.
they're like weird hillbilly mobs that are trying to rip hijabs off of people's heads.
You can't even wear this hat in a lot of cities without fucking getting
Oh, there are places in
attacked
New
by
York
somebody.
that you probably wouldn't want to put that hat on your head. I mean, you're probably not
Definitely.
going to get attacked, but you probably get accosted by.
You probably
half
get
of the
yelled
fucking
at.
street.
You probably get the
Yeah.
hat knocked off your head. You might get a smack or something. You're probably
Who
not going
knows?
to get the shit kicked out of you, but
We've seen a lot of fucking stories about people getting in fights, people getting drinks dumped on them. Like, altercations happen all the time for it.
There was a big story, it wasn't that long ago, maybe a year ago or so, of some chick that was at a rally, a political rally on a college campus, just snatched some dude's MAGA hat off of his head
Oh, yeah.
and went to, like, student services claiming like he was a hateful dude and would not give it back. Like, they literally had to call the cops. She wouldn't let her hand off of it. And so that's the truth. That's the you're probably more likely to have something like that happen to you than you are wearing a hijab in New York.
It's the truth. I mean, if anything about that story, it's like she's victimizing the wrong people.
stars support Jussie Smollett after brutal attack.
This is a fresh one right here.
This is real recent. So here's all the celebrities chiming in. John Legend sending love to Jussie and the Smollett
And,
family
like-
after this horrific attack.
I think, Paul, you brought up a good point. It's like either what do you say? Oh, I'm
Right.
skeptical.
I don't think John fucking Legend was in on this. So it's like
No.
if the
None
dude
of these.
know-
I don't
the
think any
dude
of these
knows-
people were in on it.
Right, that's
You've
what I'm
then
saying.
become complicit, though, because
They have become complicit, but how can you blame them?
through ignorance.
These are all dudes and women. These are all people that he worked with who had no reason to disbelieve this. You know what I mean? If he said it happened, they take him at his word, as you want to do
no.
with a person you consider to be a friend and a
People
coworker.
in hoaxes are victims.
Like if you came to me and or TJ came to me and was like, guys, I got my ass stomped by a bunch of Trump dudes and shit. Like I'd take you at your fucking word if you were all busted up.
So Zendaya, I don't know who that is. I hope there is justice in this hateful and targeted act of violence. Sending Jussie Smollett my love, blah, blah, blah. Vivek A. Fox, Andy Cohen, Tika Sumpter, don't know who that is.
I mean, hundreds of thousands, millions of
Kalani,
people.
Matt Bomber, Olivia Munn, Ellen
Ellen.
DeGeneres.
Olivia Munn, dude. What happened to Olivia Munn?
Jussie Smollett was violently attacked by two white men who poured bleach on him and put a noose around his neck. He was targeted for being black and for being gay. This is why we have to have zero tolerance against homophobia and
it didn't
racism.
happen.
Jussie's life matters.
And that's the thing, but it didn't happen. and it's fake, and you make a bunch of people complicit in your lie. And I'm not saying it's their fault because they just believe this person. And
let's not forget that. I mean, like this is
that's the problem with having a culture where it's like everyone needs to be believed and listened to. Because,
let's not forget that Kamala Harris jumped on this bandwagon. Let's not forget that Jake Tapper and a bunch of news media people jumped on this bandwagon. So it wasn't just like these. I mean, let's be honest, inconsequential celebrities. It was people in media who are supposed to be reporting fact. It was people.
It was the mainstream narrative, dude.
Politics who were trying to get votes.
Dude, tons of people were out there saying like, I cannot fucking believe this happened in America.
And Jussie Smollett to this day is maintaining this ridiculous, farcical version of events that no one believes.
He's full of shit.
And some of these people that we looked at have stayed supporters of his through it.
And for them to support him at this point, I think was kind of whatever. I mean, I kind of agree with you. I mean, like I can kind of understand, but to support him now when so many facts have come to light that it's just 100% clear that it was a fucking hoax, ridiculous.
I mean, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And this seems to be a drumbeat throughout this episode, and I'm sure it'll come up again. But social media enables this. Like, it's something that I don't hear people talking about a lot, because if this was like, think about if he tried to pull this in a pre-social media world,
right?
It would have been investigated and found to be completely spurious before the news people ran with it. It probably would have been a local story, if that, before the actual narrative came out, and it wouldn't have spread beyond just like, hey, a weird story about a star that went crazy.
And by the way, Jussie Smollett is being sued now.
I mean,
by the
he
city
should
of
be.
Chicago.
He should be. He should be being sued. Honestly, he wasted time and resources that might have saved somebody's life on an utter fantasy tale. He should be being sued.
Well, and the most telling thing about this, and I don't think anyone's really, I've never really had anyone with this take, at least, on this story, is that, yeah, it's like, oh, well, we don't know what happened, and we don't know what happened. It's like, yeah, but here's the even greater problem. There's no evidence to suggest his version of events are true. It's not just enough to say, well...
Right. I could say that I saw a fucking unicorn on my front lawn today, and if that's all I got... it does not behoove you to defend my position.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe you can't 100% prove his story is bullshit, but I mean, it's like 99.9.
Hate crime hoaxes like Jussie Smollett's alleged attack are more common than you think.
Well, I remember one to start that before you start reading this article, and I don't know if you guys remember. You guys remember the Tawana Brawley case? This was an old, early 90s case.
Was this a rape thing?
Yes.
I kind of think
there was a black teenaged girl named Tawana Brawley, who the media descended on because she had this story that she was brutally raped by somebody and that they drew Nazi symbols on her and cut her up and stuff. It was
that's an insane story.
Yeah. And the media ran with it. And there was all of this, all of the big black social figures at the time rallied behind her. One of them was Jesse Jackson was one of them. Who's that other guy?
Al Sharpton?
Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton was her biggest defender. He actually was the one that hooked her up with a lawyer and blah, blah, blah. But it turned out to be a complete falsehood. And the news, literally, it was Tawana Brawley every night, all night, for months. I mean, it was like one of those big kind of giant news events that turned out to be, and this was pre-social media. This was before Facebook, before Twitter. So this is not a brand new thing.
No.
Oh, definitely not.
So in writing a book about hate crime hoaxes, I found more than 400 such frauds damage good race relations. So here is someone who is compiling He's writing a book about these hate crime hoaxes. He found 400 examples.
So maybe go down to like let's go from the fourth paragraph down. That kind of just talks about the.
Okay, so he's just going to talk about his stuff.
It's right there.
Doing research for the book Hate Crime Hoax, I was able to easily put together a data set of 409 confirmed hate hoaxes, an overlapping but substantially different list of 348 hoaxes exist at fakehatecrimes.org. And researchers Laird Wilcox put together another list of at least 300 in his still contemporary book, Crying Wolf. To put these numbers in context, a little over 7,000 hate crimes were reported by the FBI in 2017, and perhaps 8 to 10% of those are widely reported enough to catch the eye of a national researcher.
Right.
Why do hoaxers hoax? In some cases, the motivations are tawdry and financial. Jussie Smollett allegedly wanted to make himself a sympathetic figure to boost his salary. However, the motivations of many hoaxers are honorable if misguided. In college campus hate hoax cases, the The individuals responsible almost invariably say that they staged the incident to call attention to real incidents of racist violence on campus.
I don't know if I believe
blah,
this.
blah, blah. I don't buy that either.
But let's say that they do. Would that not... Would the fact that they get exposed as hoaxing this not completely undermine the very thing that they're trying to call?
Absolutely.
It does, 100%.
So that's why I don't believe it. Because I don't think you have to be a smart bear to understand that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think, well, it's obvious why they make a statement like that, because it's even in their lie, it's a lofty lie. It's like, look, I did this for the greater good.
I think it's attention.
Oh, well,
Pure and simple
100% agree.
attention. I think they see a hot button social issue and they want to be tied to it in some way. They want to be one of the figures that people go to and defer to and hold up on a pedestal because they were victims of this. And they want their position to be listened to before everybody else's, because that's the culture now. When you've been the victim of something, your voice is supposed to be a megaphone above everybody else's. They want that megaphone. This is the poison of victim culture. This is the poison of excoriating victimhood beyond what it is and putting these people's voices out, because there are going to be 8 to 10% or more. Well, I guess that wasn't 8 to 10% are hoaxes. But it's going to open you up to this kind of bullshit.
Well, I mean, it seems a lot of times that the stories that get covered the most widely tend to be hoaxes. I'm not saying that that's always the case, but a lot of times we've seen that. Like,
because they're the most outlandish. You know, it's not like Jussie Smollett alleged some dude, slapped him on the back of the head on the subway or something.
Yeah,
it had to be, I was tied up and held prisoner and tortured for an hour and had milk poured on me or whatever he said they did to him. Bleach, sorry. I mean, whatever it was, it had to be so outlandish that it's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, that people registered as a shock, like, that really happened?
And in a lot of these cases, that exactly turns out to be true. It was unbelievable.
And well, it becomes an echo chamber, too, because at a point, like, you're seeing all these big celebrities, and not even an echo chamber so much, is like, it's so reinforced by everyone around you. Yeah. It's like, look, this guy was attacked, I mean, what are we going to do about this? It's not like, is he lying? Because if let's say the first news you heard of the attack, like, so it's January 29th. If you would have said, when all those people were reacting, I think this might be a hoax, guys, you would have been fucking excoriated. You would have been vilified. You would have been fucking underneath the fucking bus.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
You're a monster.
And then when it came out as a hoax, all of those voices that shouted me down would have been silent.
They all went silent,
Yep.
I see this breaking news on the top. It has nothing to do with our subject, but Fisher-Price recalls 4.7 million rock-and-play sleepers after 30 infant
sadly,
deaths.
after only immense fucking pressure.
So,
good job, Fisher-Price.
So if you got one of those, if you got kids out there, don't let them be in the rock-and-play sleeper.
Fuck these things. They're killing kids.
Okay. Woman sues Samsung for $1.8 million after cell phone gets stuck inside her vagina.
Perfect example. I'm pretty sure we covered this news story.
I do not remember covering this news story.
I thought we did.
Maybe we did.
About it, but
we do some of the news stories, so maybe we did cover it.
But I want you to show the URL if you can for this.
What's the URL? Oh, worldnewsdailyreport.com.
So if you ever see the site, this is a widely known hoax site.
Okay, so this is a bullshit site.
A lot of these sites try to give themselves like an air of credibility.
It's kind of like The Onion, but not with its satire on its sleeve.
Right, so
it does say it somewhere.
It's basically trying to clickbait you.
Yeah, if you go to the bottom, it will say this is a satirical website and all this shit, but it's obviously just...
But it's not really presented like it.
Right.
No, it's not presented like The Onion.
And here's their trending stories, and these are probably all fake. Mississippi man who was legally sold to circus as a baby, still owned by company, says court judge.
I mean, come on.
Smithsonian employee arrested for renting out dinosaur fossils for sex. Detroit dog catcher accused of having sex with over 150 stray dogs. Man faked being deaf and dumb for 62 years to avoid listening to his wife.
And I mean,
that's kind of a...
Looking at this site, it looks like every other legit news site out there.
Right, but I mean, like, some of them...
they've just copied and pasted the mainstream media's template for making a website that looks credible, and they've just populated it with utter nonsense.
With just whatever garbage they think is going to get a click.
This site typically publishes completely false stories about crazy crimes, medical mishaps. And this story in particular right here you're looking at received more than 1.3 million engagements. And this actually, I found a list of the top hoaxes. This is actually third on the list. So.
Well, is this related to the weekly World News? It's called the World News Daily Report. It makes me wonder if this is just the weekly World News' online presence.
They get cycled out constantly. Because like they get shut down or they get banned from Facebook.
Where the facts don't matter. So there's their only little tongue-in-cheek thing.
If you scroll down the bottom, I think it's... Dude, keep scrolling. Like the very bottom, like the
very
footer.
bottom.
I think it might say, here you go.
Yeah, here you go.
World News Daily assumes all responsibility for the satirical nature of its articles and for the fictional nature of their content. All characters appearing in these articles in this website, even those based on real people, are entirely fictional, and any resemblance between them and any person
This is
living or dead
basically their
undead
way
is
of
purely
getting
a miracle.
around. This is basically their way of getting around the fact they're just making shit up.
Right, but are they really doing anything differently in digital form than the Weekly World News or the National Enquirer was doing back in the day?
No.
No.
I would
So
say
this is
not.
basically where that has moved.
And you even look, go to About Us, TJ, if you want
The
to see.
gossip rag, the fake news rag has moved online, and I wouldn't be shocked if this company isn't somehow related to the Weekly World News.
I mean,
World News Daily Report is an American Jewish Zionist newspaper based in Tel Aviv and dedicated on covering biblical archaeology news and other mysteries around the globe.
I mean, whatever. They're at least they're trying to have a sense of humor about it.
I like them, whatever. But a lot of their shit does end up getting picked up as real news.
As real news.
Right.
Because people...
Oh, of course it does.
I mean, like, if you're not really looking too deeply at what's going on here in the sidebar and stuff, like, some of these articles, you could probably credibly be like, whoa, because we live in such a crazy world.
Right.
You know? But anyway.
and this, of course, is just the fact
Did a
that-
woman... No, it didn't happen.
Yeah, spoiler, she didn't.
It didn't happen. It was fake. False.
However, I do believe I would believe that at least one woman, probably multiple women, have shoved their phones in their vaginas, and maybe somebody has gotten one stuck up there before.
Oh, here's a lot of what they've done. A favorite subject of World is apparently they love this one. World News Daily Report, a well-known satire site that has a long history of publishing junk news articles, involves fictional stories about people placing odd items inside body cavities. Over the years, they
Yeah.
published stories about a man getting his head stuck in a woman's vagina, a terrorist attempting to smuggle a grenade in his anus, a babysitter stealing a baby by concealing it inside her vagina, and a McDonald's employee pilfering 80 pounds of frozen chicken nuggets by hiding them in his anal cavity.
I mean, that's.
I mean, people love this shit though. That's why
It gets clicks, apparently.
Yeah, people love this kind of absurd, like somebody put a baby in their ass to smuggle it type of shit, dude. We love the scatological stuff.
Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean,
that's basically it.
if you ever find yourself landing on World Net Daily, just know that whatever you're reading
Yeah.
there is not
It's
true.
horse
total,
shit.
total bullshit.
It's not true.
100% horseshit.
Donald Trump to end school shootings by banning schools.
And just so another well-known like satire
Hustlers.
hustlers hoax site.
because
so.
you love being lied to. I mean, come on. This one doesn't look as credible. I mean, you know.
I mean, in terms of its, like, who's reading that?
I don't
Honestly, they really are trying. Because if you go to CNN, this
They're
is how their
disguising
articles look. They got the same,
We should be, goddamn, we should be in the fake news business, dude.
We kinda
This-
are.
This looks fun.
We
I just
are,
want to make
TJ.
shit up.
We're already in the fake news business.
Yeah,
TJ.
but I mean, like, outright. Just, just make shit up,
Now
we
this,
may as well.
Now this story had huge engagement too. This one
Trump
had-
caught fisting a zebra,
Yeah.
whatever.
So this story actually had 830,000 social media engagements. So a lot of people fell for this one too. And this is, of course, as a fake story. The way to end school shootings is he banned schools.
I kind of like this idea. I don't know. I think this is forward thinking by Trump, dude. If you can't ban the guns, ban the schools. So yeah, I'm assuming that this is I mean, like, who honestly fucking? I mean, whatever.
A bunch of people.
A lot of idiots, dude. 830,000 engagements. That's why there's a Snopes article about it, because it spread so wildly.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. So same deal, basically. Florida man arrested for tranquilizing
We
and
did
raping
cover this
alligators.
one.
We
Never
did
released.
cover
This
this
is the one we did cover.
We covered this one faux show. I will never forget that face.
Yeah, and I think that we even kind of said at the time, like, I don't think this is actually true, but it's fun. And this one actually has 824,000 likes.
Wow.
So people really bought this one. I think
They
this is
liked
another
this.
example of people, like, this is true because you
Also,
love being lied to.
this
I
guy-
think that's the truth. I wanted to believe.
Yeah, what they do with a common tactic with these kind of arrest stories or mugshot shit is that they actually take a mugshot from someone else and then just add it onto the story to make you
Well-
believe, because they don't actually say this is the guy.
Right. I was going to fucking comment on the art of making one of these and getting it over on people, even dumb people. There is a fucking subtle art to it. Because this dude right here, they found a mugshot, and some brilliant fuck at this company, Hustlers, was like, that looks like somebody that would rape a gator. Because it's true. If you told me this dude raped a gator,
believe
obviously I believe it. He looks like a dude that would drug and try and rape an alligator.
Gator rape.
And they managed to find this, mugshot of a dude that probably was picked up for vagrancy or something.
Plus, who doesn't believe any story about Florida Man, dude?
Right.
Everyone knows Florida Man's up to some crazy shit.
Always.
I mean, it really is. I mean, there is an art to this. I mean, they knew that, you just say Florida Man and people are going to go, oh, yep.
He's got that gator raping look in his eye.
Well, so much crazy
looks like he's
shit.
Looking at a gator pussy right now.
There's actually a legit news story out there about a fucking guy biting someone's face off.
I will give
in
him another
Florida.
bit of credit. They do display the fact that it's satire at the base of the article instead of way
As
down
part
in
of the body of the article and not beneath everything that nobody scrolls to.
But of course, most people just read the fucking headline and go, "Whoa, that's crazy! Share this,
share."
And surprise, surprise! Click on the next one.
Just on Facebook, 124,000.
No, not 124,000
or 824.
824.
Just on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook alone. Was a Florida man arrested for tranquilizing rape? Let me guess.
No.
No, sorry, he wasn't.
Darn. He looks like a gator
So
raping son of a
They kind of
bitch.
describe their tactics that they use.
Right here?
Yep.
The report was not an actual news story. Hustlers is a well-known junk news site that has a long history of publishing misinformation. A disclaimer found in the site's article footers states that Hustlers is the most infamous faux tire and satire entertainment website in the world. Hustlers, like many other junk websites, has a penchant for including genuine but unrelated mugshots in their articles to lend them an air of plausibility. In this case, the included mugshot does not picture an alligator rapist named Sean Killams, but rather a 49-year-old man named Robert Proser, who was arrested in Ohio in 2010 for growing marijuana in his home.
Which, come on, man, you should be able to do that.
Oh my God!
Damn, TJ getting fucking phone calls on our show. What's wrong with you, buddy?
Quit calling me.
Fuck is wrong with you, TJ?
Quit calling me.
Salvador didn't want the show. Dude, even Salvador had an interruption. I had to go let him in from outside. He was out there fucking alerting the whole neighborhood to our presence.
So, I mean...
Remember we had that crazy fan sneak in here the other day and just like sit in on the show?
Shit,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't want people to be able to hone in on fucking Salvador's distinctive salva bark, you
That's
know?
true.
So I had to go silence him.
Ben Greenfield. Vaccines do indeed cause autism, and for Pete's sakes, don't trust Snopes for your news, no matter on this matter or any other alternative health news.
Uh-oh.
Snopes get an F
So
for
that
fact
is
checking.
natural healing kind of people, natural medicine, natural like lifestyle, obviously are against vaccines.
Yeah.
And this guy actually even comes out and says it just 100%. He thinks it does cause autism.
Yeah, here's the article. Why Snopes gets an F for fact
Because they
checking.
don't believe any of our bullshit. That's why.
In their purported fact-checking of a report by CBS correspondent Cheryl Atkinson, Snopes spewed propaganda, not real facts, in an attempt to discredit the report and the potential vaccine
Okay,
autism
so
link.
number one, they're attacking Snopes, but that report has been widely discredited. The Andrew Wakefield report has been widely discredited by numerous sources. Scientists have never been able to replicate the results of that study.
Right. That's
So-
that's the definition of a study that's dead in the water.
Sorry, it's not. You
You
can't
got an
say
aberrant result that can't be replicated in a fucking lab, then it's not science.
Check
Sorry.
this out. If you're relying on Snopes as your arbiter of truth, however, you're in for a surprise. Snopes engages in massive censorship of natural health and general promotion of industry talking points. What started as a tool to investigate urban legends, hoaxes, and folklore has manifested into a self-proclaimed definitive fact-checking resource that's taking on topics like whether or not vaccines can cause autism. Yet in their purported fact-checking of a full measure report by award-winning investigative reporter and former CBS correspondent Cheryl Atkinson, Snopes simply spewed propaganda, not real facts, in an attempt to discredit the report and the potential vaccine autism link. In the end, though, they actually ended up confirming the main point of Atkinson's report. For this, Atkinson wrote, Snopes get an F for predictable propaganda in the vaccine autism debate.
Wait, I'm sorry. You get an A in propaganda for the vaccine autism connection because there's never been suggested there actually is one.
Yeah, there's never been a fucking repeatable, testable fucking link between any of these vaccines and autism.
And all the funny thing about this is all it does is go and smear Snopes. And look, even if Snopes is, let's say let's even grant the premise Snopes is a rag and it's all propaganda. That doesn't mean what you're saying is true.
This whole autism thing is a minefield of crazy conspiracy shit. And I'm part of it. Like, I have my own. It really is startling how many diagnoses of autism and autism spectrum disorder.
I think it's the next phase of human evolution.
I don't think so, TJ.
I do.
People, I mean, you may be on the spectrum somewhere, TJ, but people with profound autism, I think, would disagree with you.
I think they're like the mutants from X-Men, dude.
Autism.
They use their autist powers, dude.
To do what?
They do all kinds of crazy shit. All those people that triangulated the location of that fucking flag that what's his face put up.
Right.
Who's it? Shia LaBeouf.
Uh-huh.
Those are a bunch of autistic motherfuckers, dude.
Probably.
Of course.
The autistic people, they have power because
Yeah,
they
but
have
that-
concentration and focus that people like me with ADD just lack. They're like the opposite. I think we're splitting off into the autism race and the ADD race, and that's going to be the fucking race war, dude. That's my
race
theory.
war?
Yeah, that's my theory.
This is the stupidest theory I've ever heard in my entire life.
Are you saying it's some kind of hoax or something? Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
not saying it's a hoax. I'm saying
What
that
if I read an
might be a
article?
hoax?
It's a
I'm
hoax?
saying that it's a startling medical fact that more and more children are being diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders. Mm-hmm. And we don't really have a reason beyond the obvious that we've gotten better at detecting these things and we kind of know more about them now. But to me, it seems like the rates of increase are startling enough to warrant checking into what we're doing differently now.
All right, so here, Scientific American they know. They got it.
Oh, yeah? They got it nailed?
Yeah, they got it. Check it out. See,
All right.
right here. The real reasons autism rates are up in the U.S. All right?
Okay. All right.
It's probably pretty long. Let's just try to get to their conclusion here.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. How accurate is CDC's approach? Has our definition of autism changed over the years? That might be interesting.
I mean, I know it has. There used to be two separate disorders,
Right,
Asperger's,
autism and Asperger's,
that
yeah.
are now seen as
So let's
under
just-
the same spectrum of
Let's skip to the
diagnosis.
real conclusion here. Awareness and changing criteria probably account for the bulk of the rise in prevalence, but biological factors might also contribute, says Durkin. For example, having older parents, particularly an older father, may boost the risk of autism. Children born prematurely are also at an increased risk of autism, and more premature infants survive now than ever before.
Huh. Interesting.
So there's some ideas. Where's the vaccines, though?
Yeah, they don't seem to mention vaccines anywhere. And
I also
Scientific American
Interesting.
gets an F.
F.
Well, and a big thing about
F.
and really now we're kind of starting to see this actually bear fruit, this whole anti-vaxxer move, because I mean, what's interesting is that there hasn't really actually been a huge uptick from what I looked into of anti-vaxxer sentiment or people that believe that.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, we see now the measles outbreaks are happening. We see a lot of preventable, like whooping cough and preventable diseases coming back. And it's kind of like, and people are kind of scratching their heads as to why that is, because like we're not really seeing a greater prevalence of people who buy into it necessarily, but we're seeing more cases of it. So
Yeah.
it is really interesting kind of like thing we have going on with it right now.
I know I've harped on it here before, but I think this like screen-based autism thing is going to be a frontier that you're going to hear more about in the next 10 or 15 years. There's a lot of really startling early studies on it that are like mind-blowing, that don't seem to be controverted by scientists, although repeating them is an ethical concern. One of the major studies comes out of, I think it's Eastern Europe somewhere, where there was a hospital for children with ASD. And one of the things that they did for these kids who are often profoundly socially disabled is give them phones and iPads and those sorts of things to do with. And a lot of these kids came from homes where they had those things. And when he took them away and started treating the kids, he found that a lot of them got like they weren't autistic anymore at the end of it. Like a lot of them were able, like they formed social connections, and by the end of it, they weren't even diagnosable as on the spectrum anymore. So it's a study that might end up being debunked. It might end up being hooey or whatever, but it's interesting enough that it's caught my eye, and I'm watching for this shit.
Interesting. So here's here's a Facebook group, Vaccine Resistance Movement, VRM, updates and news from the trenches. Would you have a measles party? Why or why not? There's
Yes.
51 responses. Here's the two that pop up immediately. Yes, yes, I welcome the natural immunity. Let's see if there's any other comments here. There's 51 of them, so. Oh, was it going to open? Load? Load Facebook. Do I
Load,
need to
please.
pay the Facebook fee?
Yeah, you didn't pay your fee this month.
Damn
so
it,
you-
I forgot to pay the Facebook bill.
You don't get to read all the
Well,
comments.
you keep scrolling.
For a practice that believes in Eastern medicine and healing, this is how the founder of the practice feels about the measles scare. Is she hoping there will be dead bodies and severely retarded children? What the fuck? What is this? What's going on here? Please be aware that Shasta County is in the midst of a measles outbreak. We'll be asking if you had if you have had the measles, not the German measles or rubella, or have not been vaccinated against this potentially devastating yet preventable disease. If not, why both for both your protection and the protection of others, we'll be asking you to leave the premises. We appreciate your cooperation during these difficult times.
It's funny because acupuncture is another just totally fucking debunked
But
science.
even the
or practice.
acupuncturist knows.
Even they're like, wait a minute, a little
They're
bit
not
too
This
trying
is
to get
dog
measles
shit. They
over
ain't
there.
trying to get the measles. Vaccines. So basically, they're attacking this person
Drinking
for
the
believing in
Kool-Aid.
science. At least in this, I hope her patients know she's a big pharma shill.
Yep, of course they all think
I think
that.
we should leave some Google reviews and share what she said. Yeah, I think you should. This
ahead.
idiot believes in the efficacy of vaccines, just like all of modern science.
So here's another one.
Please help. My ex-husband is threatening to take our 8-year-old to get the MMR vaccine against my will the next time he has her. I have full custody, but she goes with him after school every other Thursday. I have called a pediatrician and made them aware that of what he threatened, but he could take her somewhere else, just take her somewhere else to get the shot. Not only can he, but he should.
Yes.
And you're a moron, and you shouldn't have custody of your child if you're not going to protect them from infectious disease.
And by proxy, endanger everybody else's fucking children.
Right.
And everybody else in the fuck you.
Anyone in here a nurse? Please, God, no. Can one of you come on my post? Yeah, I'll come on your post.
Yeah.
And tell this woman that you didn't get the flu shot, please.
And this is a small group. I mean, I tried to actually get into one of the bigger groups, but it takes a while to join them, and they're very obviously protective because they know people are going to try to go in there and actually see what they're saying about
Right.
this. But the interesting thing about these groups is that this has actually led to such an increase of these people being able to communicate. And you see now, like, they're basically, they become echo chambers of people going, oh, these vaccines are so dangerous. Oh, we're going to make our children retarded. We're going to kill our children. And of course, there's a ton of commercial activity that comes out of this. So if you go to the next one, which the one I was actually trying to join, but
Couldn't get in. They wouldn't let you
my
in.
request is pending. Come on, guys.
Refuse censorship. Learn why parents go vaccine free.
162,000 members. And look, just today, if you go down, 871 new posts.
Today.
And this is stop mandatory vaccination.
Right.
So they're not against it. They just don't want mandatory.
Well,
And-
that's
but-
being against vaccination.
And let's be honest, they only do this because if they said we're just against vaccination, they'd be banned by Facebook. So now this is the way they skirt the rules.
I mean, vaccination without enforcement of that is almost pointless. It's how you establish herd immunity to these diseases that are horrible.
and look at the first
We can
thing
go to
you
their
see.
website if you want.
Yeah, well, I actually have that pulled up.
Oh, you actually have it pulled up already. Stop mandatory vaccination. Vaccines don't save lives. Healthy immune systems do.
And when you look at the site, it just reeks of everything they're trying to sell you.
Ooh,
Vaccines revealed.
Vaccine, a 9-part docuseries.
And
How
what's
much
the-
is it?
Oh, it's free, TJ.
Is it free?
Of course. Oh, wait, you have to register. Oh, wait, you have to give them all your information. Oh, wait, they're going to want you to pay money. Oh,
No, look at this
wait.
list. This is what the anti-vax movement is about right here.
Right.
All of these talking heads that everybody defers to because they have MD or PhD.
Most of them don't. Some of them do.
Right. Well, a lot of people are among them, and they defer to these people, and all of these people are raking in money off of this. Speaking fees. They have a piece of a website like this. They're selling a book,
Yeah.
and
come-
all of it is contrary to to science in general when it comes to these fucking diseases.
Hey, Andrew Wakefield, you're actually not a doctor anymore, so maybe you could take that right out of that name. 'Cause-
Autism activist.
Yeah. You're not an autism activist.
You have a fucking
You're a charlatan.
disbarred, lying piece of shit. He worked with fucking lawyers to not only sue fucking pharmaceutical companies, but he lied about it. He lost his. He's actually not even a doctor. So this is a lie right here. This is just fucking on its face is bullshit. If you go back, you can see more shit. It's also about selling you. So this is actually trying to sell you an event. Start here. Oh, buy these books. Oh, look at here.
What about immunizations?
Look at all the ads.
Get this
On the
book.
left.
Get this book.
Book
Get
after
this
book
book.
after book
Get
after
this
book
book.
after book.
Jabbed. Vaxxed.
DVD.
That's a DVD. That's a film they
Yep.
don't want you to see.
Online
The
fucking
Beginner's Guide
training.
to Natural Living. Critical vaccine studies. Dissolving illusions. Immunization. The reality behind the myth. Vaccine epidemic. Master
But
manipulator.
look at this. Go up to those images. Right there, you had.
This?
I no longer vaccinate because vaccines almost killed my son. Oh, but it just stopped mandatory vaccination, so they haven't really taken a side.
I am disgusted with the fact that we are injecting babies with known poisons.
What poisons?
That's just a sign that we have evolved too far beyond the herd thinning mechanics that the world had for us. Because these people wouldn't even be allowed to have this dumb, inane, backwards position if science had not solved the problem of measles and rubella and fucking any number of these fucking mumps and smallpox. These things that used to kill the children. Now we've gotten so good at fighting these horrible things that used to end the lives of children that we've allowed the dumb chimps among us to actually be against the cure. Get rid of the cure that saved my kid. It's fucking retarded.
And the most telling thing about it was the FTC disclosure they had right there. Oh, we basically make money off this. So it's basically, let's prey on the fear of a bunch of fucking morons.
Where's that?
Right there. We may earn money or products from the companies or links mentioned on any post or page.
Of course you may.
Yeah, of course
Fuck
you may.
You don't hear the cash registers ringing, scrolling down that website? Endless
Money!
books on tape, online courses. That's what this is about. And it's one of the fucking most disgusting ways to make your money because the end result is that some kid grows up retarded because he had 110-degree fever for 12 days with mumps or measles.
Anti-vax propaganda has gone viral on Facebook. Pinterest has a cure. I don't know about that part. As pressure mounts on Facebook to explain its role in promoting anti-vaccine misinformation, Pinterest tries a different approach. Okay.
So this is actually a famous thing that happened. There was the vaccine hearing. So basically this congressman went onto Facebook and typed in vaccines, and these are the results. If you just pull down that image right there.
Here we go.
This is his tweet.
Last week, I wrote Facebook and Google to express my concern that their site is steering users to bad information that discourages vaccination, undermining public health.
Wait a minute. We're trusting anything from Adam. I supported the fake dossier Schiff.
Yep, I guess so.
The liberal shill.
So
No,
here,
actually, Adam Schiff is one of the few dudes that seems like he's got his head screwed on straight.
he typed in vaccines, vaccination,
I mean, and
vaccine re-education discussion
this is a
forum,
totally
vaccine
valid
truth
point.
movement, vaccine education network, vaccine
And you know why
re-education
Google-
discussion forum, vaccinated,
and you know why
vaccines are us.
And you know why Google and Facebook are lying? Because these people advertise a bunch. They're making a bunch of money off them. So that you're actually going to these sites and when you search for vaccine on a site that has 2 billion users, you're seeing a bunch of vaccine misinformation pop up immediately.
The fact that they had the CEO of Facebook standing tall before the man in Washington last year, and this is still you still are able to go to Facebook and find these giant groups propagating anti-scientific, dangerous misinformation is disgusting. Like, Facebook takes such a stand on hate speech and political speech. I mean, they'll ban you for this, that, but why is this such a blatant eyesore
you
left
wanna
on
know
that
why?
fucking
'Cause
site?
if you're in fucking Silicon Valley, this is actually a popular sentiment for a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of people. That's why. It's because it's a liberal, crazy idea that doesn't make a lick of fucking sense, but it's okay for a bunch of liberals to believe it because that's honestly where it's happening the most.
Hey, here's a feel-good story, guys. Couple raises thousands for homeless veteran to thank him
wow.
for selfless act.
How sweet.
The feel-good story of the year, everybody.
I love these kind of stories.
Me
Heartwarming.
too, Paul.
It lets me
Me
know
too.
that
Remember that
humans are
homeless man
just
who
still
gave his
humans.
last $20 to help a woman on the side of the road?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now he has more than $250,000 coming his way.
Yay!
The 769 changes my life.
But what we're gonna do, man, is we're gonna try to set you up so you can
Like have something and get something out of it.
You know what, guys? In the fucking
If you
shit
got-
sandwich of this episode, all these hoaxes, I thought it'd be nice to have a story that kind of redeemed it all.
Oh my God, my heart is so warm for this guy.
I feel so much better now. 250,000 plus praise for this guy. That's great.
Wow.
And you know what? All from a single act of kindness. That's beautiful.
That's amazing.
If,
It just shows that social media can do it right every now and
It
then.
can
About
do
this
some good things.
yesterday.
I mean,
His
that's why I
name was
included
Johnny,
the guys.
and he brought gas to a woman who was stranded last month in Philly. In turn, she started the GoFundMe page, and now people from around the world are donating. proof that you give and it comes back to you, right?
Really
Remember the
Wow.
homeless man who gave his last $20 to help a
Oh, we
woman on the
already
side of the
know. know.
road?
Yep. So anyway,
So it's
yeah, that's awesome.
What? So about
Couple homeless man accused of setting up GoFundMe campaign predicated on a lie.
So almost 1 year later, because if you remember, that's November
Aw.
2017. Now it's November 2018.
They use the exact same picture. But
Well, this is the one that went viral. This is from like the Twitter or whatever Facebook post that went viral.
On the evening of November 10th, 2017, Mark D'Amico, the boyfriend of Caitlin McClure, took a photograph of McClure and Johnny Bobbitt Jr., a homeless man, standing at the Girard Avenue exit ramp on Interstate 95 in Philadelphia. Within hours of taking this photo, McClure and D'Amico created a charitable campaign on the website GoFundMe.com with the title
Can you
of
just pause
Paying
it for
It
1
Forward.
second? So I don't know if he's going to mention this, but I want to mention this in the research. This guy, Mike D'Amico, actually, they found him. They went back and found he actually made a social media post of this exact same thing before, like years ago. So this is something that it was in his mind for a while.
so
like-
he tried this once before.
Yes, he did.
Interesting.
The campaign featured a sympathetic tale of a homeless veteran, Johnny Bobbitt, who came to McClure's aid one night after she ran out of gas at that location with no money. The story, as it was told, had Bobbitt cautioning McClure to stay inside the car and lock the doors while he went to a gas station. There, he used what little money he had to purchase a can of gas and bring it back so McClure can get home safely. The photograph taken by D'Amico and posted by McClure quickly became the face of the fundraiser, purportedly to benefit Bobbitt following this alleged selfless act. The Paying It Forward story that drove this fundraiser might seem too good to be true. Unfortunately, it was. The entire campaign was predicated on a lie. Less than an hour after their GoFundMe page went live, McClure, in a text exchange with a friend, stated that the story about Bobbitt assisting her was fake.
I love how, most of these hoaxes are predicated upon, like, fear. But this just shows that you can just as easily predicate it on hope or people's wanting to believe that things are, better than they are, or they want some inspirational story to make them feel good.
This guy had fucking $20 in his pocket. He's like, you know what?
And they raised $400,000.
See, back in the day, though, it's hard to imagine. I mean, maybe there would have been a local drive. I mean, people probably have done this hoax in the pre-internet age.
Oh,
but
dude.
The internet really enables this kind of thing, especially with crowdfunding now being a
Worldwide.
huge deal. Yeah.
Because you can be in Germany, you can be in fucking China, you can be wherever in the world and go, oh my God, that story touched me. Yeah, here's $100.
Right. And the whole fucking thing is based on something that never happened. It's all just a lie. They're probably splitting this money 3 ways or whatever it is.
Oh, they actually got the lion's share of the money. The couple that did this.
The couple basically, like the homeless guy was just a prop for them.
Right.
Yeah. He got about 75,000. I think they got about 300-something thousand, somewhere around there.
Specifically, she wrote, "Okay, so wait, the gas part is completely made up, but the guy isn't. I had to make something up to make people feel bad. So shush about the made up stuff."
Shush about it.
I had to make something up to make people feel bad,
She fucking texted this to somebody else. In a million years, she never should have been beyond this couple. They should never have said a damn thing. But you know what happened with this guy? And the story was he wanted more money because he's a homeless dude, so he gave a bunch of the money away, blew a bunch of the money, obviously on drugs and other shit. I think he was actually living on their property, and they just got sick of him. Like, they spent the money, and they're like, hey, time for you to go, homeless fuck. We don't actually give a shit about you're a prop. So he complained. I think he actually sued them, and then this whole thing just unraveled, and they all ended up being charged.
A bunch of bullshit.
How beautiful is it, though?
And, of course, the suckers
She did not run out of gas
all
on
the
an
people that gave money.
I-95.
And we see that the danger of hoaxes, too, is not just fooling people. People gave almost $500,000 because they fucking were like, you know what, we want to change this guy's life.
Right.
And it was just to enrich a bunch of fucking suburbanite greedy fucks.
Yep.
That was it.
Let's see. So Bobbitt received $75,000, and within months, McClure and D'Amico had squandered their share to buy a car, high-end handbags, and trips.
And they went to casinos.
They also used it at casinos.
Yeah.
Kafina stressed that while Bobbitt, a veteran, deserves thanks for his service to the country and sympathy for his situation, he was fully complicit in the crime, making media appearances to help promote his fraud.
I love that they took this money to a casino. Dude, you know this is true, TJ.
Yeah.
Nothing feels better than gambling somebody else's money.
So true.
Of course, they're going to take it right to the place where you take money to lose it because they just didn't give a shit. That was the end result of all the heartfelt donations from people for this homeless dude. Was a couple of fucking suburbanites sitting in a fucking
all on
casino.
red.
Yeah.
Yep.
Black
Making
stock.
high betting all night and
Fucking
drinking
sitting-
fucking top shelf.
Sitting in Monaco, living
Yeah.
the high life. You know what? We had to go to the south of France, had to have some fun. Let's go gamble these simpletons' fucking money. And you know they were laughing about it too. Oh, look, I wonder if that was that guy's money. Ha! We lost it. Who cares?
Yeah, what a bunch of fucking bullshit.
1,000 a hand on baccarat. Who gives a fuck? Let's live the high life. You know how's a lot of this shit spread, guys? What do you think of the fucking? And I know there's a certain individual that maybe talked about this before, but how about bots, dude?
Hold on 1 second, Scotty. I wanna fucking put all my money on fucking black right now,
All
dude.
right, dude, do it.
Oh man, I don't have fucking flash or
Oh,
whatever.
you don't have flash. Too
Oh
bad.
well. Too bad. All right, move on. After Florida school shooting, Russian bot army pounced.
What?
I'm tired of this Russian bot shit.
Well, I actually want to read something before we, but you can leave that on the screen.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So to spread information like wildfire, bots will strike a match on social media, but then urge people to fan the flames. Automated Twitter accounts called bots help spread bogus articles during and after the 2016 U.S. presidential election by making the content appear popular enough that human users would trust it and share it more widely. Research reported online in November in Nature Communications, is a scientific publication on human communication, things like that. Although people have suggested that bots help drive the spread of misinformation online, the study is one of the first to provide solid evidence that bots play a role. So the findings suggest that cracking down on devious bots may help fight for the fake news epidemic. So Filippo Menzenzer, I don't know how that. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that guy's name. An informatics and computer scientist at Indiana University in Bloomington and colleagues analyzed 13.6 million Twitter posts from May 2016 to March 2017. All of these messages linked to articles on sites known to regularly publish false or misleading information. So basically, they analyzed a ton of data and found that what bots do is they go in there, they start spreading the story to enough people, and they get enough likes, so it looks like it has traction, and people are like, yo, what's there? What is is there something to this?
Right.
And then they just start spreading it like crazy.
Right. It's kind of like how a lot of the early YouTubers, would buy views and upvotes.
I mean, you can still do that.
You can still do it, but
it just really doesn't mean as much anymore.
It's way harder to do now too. YouTube has put in so many countermeasures.
Well, we saw that with a lot of channels. I mean, there's channels that lost 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, dude, a certain individual employed several different, of these weird websites to come and leave comments, positive comments on every video he made. So, I mean, it was just absurd. And look, this is why I support a digital citizenship initiative, and I'm not even joking about this. I think everybody, I've covered this on Ideology a few times, and I've talked about how I feel about this, but I really think that because really, be honest with me, guys, what we're saying here is that the internet and social media are pretty much worthless as a tool of spreading any kind of actual information because there's no way to vet it.
True.
And it just becomes sloppy
to some extent,
and passed around, and I'm not saying I don't get news from those places, but I'm like the skepticism continues to grow. These problems are not getting better; they're getting worse. They're getting more and more prevalent, and the fake news, if you want to call it that, is getting more and more prevalent. I think we need a digital citizenship initiative that when you have access to the internet, you have basically two accounts.
Would you just tie it to people's social or something?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe a new social security number when you're born, but it's your digital security number. And we issue one to every citizen, and that's you get two accounts with it. You get one front-facing public account, and you get one anonymous account. And that's it. This idea that you can sit in your basement and have a botnet and create 10,000 bots.
If I'm on a list, I ain't anonymous, Paul.
You know what I mean? And push all these fucking false narratives and shit. It ends overnight.
Big Paul is watching you.
What also ends overnight is social media becomes a place where you can have an actual conversation with people again. Because you don't have to continuously ban, mute, hide, whatever retards that are constantly coming back with an army of new accounts.
But isn't
They've got two to burn on you,
too,
and then they're gone.
Isn't the problem with that too, though, that I mean, people kind of, an element of people like of the internet, especially for privacy, is anonymity. And I say there's an anonymous account.
There's one account that everybody gets.
But how could it be truly anonymous if you're on some government site?
Well, I mean, look, there's nothing truly anonymous anymore. I'm talking about anonymity from everybody else. Of course, there's going to be a government database or something, but they've got databases on your health and your past and all of that shit. There's just another one. It's your internet access. Now, I would advocate for any law that instituted this to have strong protections for the privacy of people.
Yeah, you would need that
on the anonymous account. Maybe even a separation of the anonymous account from the government database to allow people that one option to do something totally anonymous. I don't know. I know that there are flaws there.
I think that we know the government would just continue to spy on us.
Government's already spying on you anyway.
Do the flaws in that plan outweigh the obvious flaws of an ever faker, less usable fucking environment?
I think
on
it's
social
at least
media.
a question worth considering, but
it does need to be considered.
Yeah. So back to this, I guess.
The second point of the article, and I won't read any more of it. It's just that they just target accounts with large followings. Because that obviously is a strategy. If you get someone to respond to that or see that response, like, oh, that's a person I know, then it obviously flames the fans.
Isn't lack of accountability part of this? Isn't that really like one of the main problems of what we're talking about today?
Right.
Well,
the fact that when people perpetrate these, oftentimes they just melt into the, or the people that support them melt into the background, never correct them. There's no accountability at any level on social media for propagating this kind of misinformation.
If the New York Times, let's say the story turns out to be false, they'll print a retraction. They'll say, oh, we were actually wrong about this.
Right.
On social media, you may never even know you were wrong.
But journalistic entities hate printing retractions, so they try and do, at least they used to, I don't know about now, they seem to, at least by and large, run with a lot of bullshit now. But the editorial process is there in large part to prevent them from having to print retractions. The New York Times didn't become the quote-unquote paper of record by printing a retraction column that was bigger than its newspaper every week.
Fuck no.
So there is at least some kind of implication of a process there to vet this information at the professional media level that has now gone completely out the window on social media.
And there's so much information.
Look, a lot of these news sites and stuff have just changed to, a little bit of news, but mostly opinion. Because you don't have to fucking print a retraction on an opinion.
No.
It's just an opinion.
Right.
So a lot of these news sites, quote unquote, have just become
and people want that now.
Opinion piece.
People
sites.
really want debate, and they don't want this kind of objective view. They want this is bad.
My point is though, and we can use this article as an example. So this is an article about a weekend gun control rally in Fort Lauderdale.
This is basically like Russian bots targeted people that we're talking about the Parkland shooting.
Right. So if this turned out I can guarantee you the New York Times vetted this story before they ran to the presses with it. To the best of their fucking ability.
Well, sure. Why wouldn't they?
Right, and that's the difference that I'm talking about. These on social media, there's no vetting process, there's no editorial process, and as we've seen tonight, often a nefarious motive behind these schemes.
There's actually an incentive to do the opposite.
Right, and there's no accountability for that at all. If the New York Times was printing a retraction column that was thicker than their fucking paper, they wouldn't be a newspaper anymore.
And the fact that bots are just proliferate these platforms, and we've all seen them. It's like, obviously it's like the fucking girl, the joincamgirls.com or whatever. Like,
hey, are you jerking off alone right now? Why? You could join me over at spermshooter.com. I love those. Those are my favorite invasive ads because I usually am jerking off when they pop up. And it's always so creepy. It feels like I'm in some future dystopia where somebody's watching me jerk my crank, I go to a porn site and there it is, They sneak one in on me. I click on a link that looks like a video and it turns out to be one of those, hey, what are you doing with your dick in your hand? And I'm like, shit! Jerking off, I guess.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why you
weird
naked?
lady with your tits and ass and pussy out? Oh, you're jerking off too. Cool.
I felt the logical conclusion of this episode was definitely our fearless leader.
Trump,
dude.
the rump himself.
Trump.
Are you implying that he is a hoax? The man that pointed out and coined the term fake news is himself a hoax, Scotty? You're going to try and pass that liberal nonsense on us.
So, since taking office, Trump has made 7,000, I'm sure this number's gone up since then, by the way, 645 false or misleading claims.
Fake news.
In October,
who's maintaining that list, Scotty?
1,200 things that were false.
Isn't it
or misleading.
MSNBC?
It's a fact checker database.
There's some fucking news site that's counting all his lies, and everybody runs with those numbers. And I wonder if they're counting their own lies over there at that news site. I wonder how many mistruths MSNBC and CNN have passed off as news, huh?
Well, that's a fallacious reasoning, Paul. That's called tu quo qui.
Donald Trump's tumultuous
Fake
presidency
news is
has
what that's
presented
called.
problems for journalists the world over. Crimea River. But spare a thought for the people whose job it is to keep track. Wait, how has Trump's presidency presented problems for journalists exactly? They love him.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, dude. I think they've when Trump was elected,
They can't talk about your dick in your
You
hands.
know those job market numbers when they go up a little bit and Trump crows about it? Most of them have been journalists that cover Trump.
Yeah. But spare a thought for the people whose job it is to keep track of his lies, the Trump fact checkers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do feel bad for them.
Since taking office, the president has lied about everything from immigration figures to the number of burgers he served to the Clemson football team at the White House last week. I mean, what is he supposed to have an exact count of the fucking burgers?
I mean, if he really, I think he vastly overstated it. Though.
I served 12 million burgers.
Look, I know burgers.
I gotta get me a burger. It takes up a lot of our time just because he is constantly talking, said Glenn Kessler, editor-in-chief writer of the Washington Post Fact Checker column. The pace in Washington has changed. You could wake up and the president may have already had 5 or 6 tweets that cry out for fact checks. So you got too much work. Whatever, the president's keeping you employed, bitch. That's what he promised to do, right?
It's just too much of my job to do, man.
Man, I gotta actually, man, come on.
Oh, dude, there was so much debunking shit on Trump. Trump was like, I was in the Oval Office, and someone's like, no, actually you weren't because there's supposed to be a Marine station here, so you lied about that.
I mean, last week or 2 weeks ago, he said his dad was born in Germany, just blatantly in front of a bunch of people in a speech.
Yeah, my dad was German. He was born in Germany, born and raised.
And
No, he wasn't.
No, he was born in the fucking Bronx.
They said that there's been days where he's lied 100 times in a day.
Yeah. The president has made 124 false claims about the U.S. losing money to Mexico under the North American Free Trade Agreement and has claimed the economy is the greatest ever 110 times. It's exhausting.
Yeah, we don't lose. I don't know. I mean, the NAFTA thing, I can maybe see an argument. It depends on how he's framing it.
I mean, I'm very negative on social media and shit, obviously, and we've just done a fucking show that's very negative on social media. But I think it just really kind of underscores, I think Trump is a sign of the times, man. He is
The
really
post-truth president.
Yeah, I mean, really, we do live in that post-truth world that's, been repeated so many times as we've descended into it. It's almost become a meme. It's almost become a boy who cried wolf meme. But it's definitely one of the things that I consider when people ask me, hey, Paul, when do you think we're actually going to be living in a dystopia? When do you think we're going to get that Orwellian dystopia, Paul? And I'm like, we're living in it, motherfuckers, now. We're in it right now. It may not look like Orwell thought it was going to look. It may not look like Huxley thought it was going to look. But you know what? It's our own, very own special dystopia where nothing is true, where everything real is faked, where there's a nefarious money-making scheme behind everything, where you're increasingly encouraged to not associate with people due to things that they've said. Association is policed more heavily now than at any time I can remember in my childhood. Speech is policed increasingly. Speech is policed in a worrying way to me.
But then misinformation is barely policed at all.
But misinformation is so par for the course that we have the leader of our country, the person who represents us internationally, lying over 100 times a day.
Yeah.
That's how much the truth matters. That's how much vetting a story matters now. That's how much, and I'm not even exempting my fucking self. I started this episode talking about how I perpetrated fake news.
But you did put a retraction out.
I did retract it. Obviously, I was going to retract it when I found out it was a total fucking nonsense. I'm not going to leave that hanging. But I didn't pull down my thing. I left it there so that people could see fake. But here's the thing. I was a victim of this just like everybody else has been a victim of this. Everybody in this fucking room has retweeted something or talked about something that didn't happen.
That's the insidious thing about the social media hoax, though, is that you can be a victim and a victimizer simultaneously in this.
So
everybody is.
When you help spread it, you're not. I mean, you're unwittingly part of the problem.
So one of the conclusions I think in a good place then is, why does this happen? So basically, I think that's kind of essentially what I read was that it's mostly just human nature. But here's 4 of the primary reasons. Okay, so number 1 is fake stories reach people quicker than the truth. So honestly, a lot of times you end up seeing the bullshit story, like you said. You saw the thing about was it Leaving Neverland, and you saw the fake story.
Right, that HBO had pulled it.
And you're kind of just like, what the fuck? And I mean, like, and honestly, in the times we live in, that's actually a plausible story to see. Oh, maybe there was a retraction. Maybe there was something that was wrong.
Right.
Number 2 is people don't check before sharing. So a lot of times you'll see some that, like, let's say you're an anti-vaxxer. Oh, vaccines cause autism. Share. Whatever. You see a hate crime story. Share. Oh, someone did something racist. Share. You want to be seen as a...
You share things that are already...
And you don't check them.
Confirmation
towards
bias.
Your ideological bent, basically.
Right. So listen to this. A 2016 study discovered that 59% of all links shared on social networks aren't clicked before being reported.
So it's almost like people just read the headline and they're like, aha, see?
So 59% of the time people repost or share things without even click the link. They're just like,
Obama
like
done a bad, share. Trump done a bad, share.
And this one, number 3 is pretty obvious, confirmation bias. You know? So our brains are wired to buy into information that we already believe, according to Psychology Today. That's called confirmation bias. Well, duh, we all know that. Once we have formed a view, we embrace information that confirms that view while ignoring or rejecting information that casts doubt on it.
Right. So all of us, and I'm sure everyone here participating in this, and most of you guys out there watching it, I know that there's probably some people out there like, I don't fall for that. But you do.
Everyone does.
Everybody has.
But I have. I know I have.
Oh, yeah.
I know for a fact that I've seen stuff that this matches up with my viewpoint, and I'm, I should, the alarm bell never goes off of like, look at this critically, and I'm just like, yeah, share that.
Yeah. I was just very, like, the thing I'm talking about is very recent, and it was exactly that. I'm a dude. I don't necessarily disbelieve that he did inappropriate things or illegal things with children. Michael Jackson, right? But I'm very skeptical that everybody just runs with a documentary before there's been a trial, before there's been a critical examination of any of the evidence.
There actually was a few trials.
Right. The only trials that we've had have all exonerated Michael Jackson. So it's just like I'm one of those kind of like let's wait and see kind of people, and this confirmed that position for me. It was like, HBO's pulling their fucking documentary down, huh? Oh yeah? How about that now, all you dumbass Twitter fucks that have been tweeting about how Michael Jackson diddles kids? Did he diddle kids now? Because it was immediately my mind latched onto it. And yeah, I went and looked. I did actually look. Another thing, like in there, you can actually sometimes look and find other sites that are confirming it and go like, oh, okay, yeah. There's other sites running with this. This is just breaking. I'm going with it. That's what I did.
Sometimes in cooperation. And sometimes unwilling, like it might be a big blog, like, oh my God, they pulled this down, like you said, because victim of human nature.
Multiple sites covering the same fake source. But it's become really hard to discern what's news and what isn't.
Well, I think that actually kind of speaks to this number 4, which is the more we see something, the more we believe it. It may not make any sense, but it's human nature. The more times we see something, the more likely we are to believe it's true.
Right. So it's like the whole lie repeated enough times becomes the truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you saw that with your case there of like that Twitter post. You probably saw it. I'm sure when you got to it, it wasn't like it had one like.
It was an early morning thing, and it had just broken, and it had just started to become a trending thing, and people were starting to share it and shit. So it was I was part of that.
And you know what? More likely, it started that too. Wasn't even actually real people. It's probably bots.
I got people today liking my original post, not the retraction. The original post. Still finding my shit and spreading it, even though it's completely fake.
Right. And it's like, what do you do in that instance? Because
I can pull it down.
If you take it down, then it's like, oh, you're a fucking coward trying to hide your mistakes. Right. But if you leave it up, then people are still going to stumble on it and be like, I believe this.
Right.
So like, what do you do?
There's no way to edit and say, this is actually fake.
Yeah, I mean, if only Twitter would fucking finally introduce that edit button. But I mean, that would be abused because people would post something that's really popular opinion or something that's credible.
And then replace it with
and then once it gets, 20 million fucking likes or whatever, then they change it to something that no one would ever agree with to make people look like fucking idiots.
And the 5th point here is information overload's basically the fact-checking resource that we have.
Right, so there's just too much out there.
So it says, researchers wrote that social media users struggle to cope with the information overload caused by the messages that frequently flood our screens. Consequently, Don't stop to question sources or look for verification. We're so time poor, said social media strategist Kylie Bartlett, according to the news. Whatever, it's just some stupid website. We're turning to social media for a quick fix. We're not evaluating whether information we read is true.
I was actually thinking about this Twitter shit earlier, how they could add an edit button and not run into that problem. If anytime an edit was done to a tweet, any responses to it were moved to the bottom of the tweet under a big banner where you've got to click on the tweet to read it that says, archived tweet prior to edit. Click here to see original tweet, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that, and then just move it.
You could just have a thing that says this tweet has been edited
when I
in a
fuck
small
up,
thing or something.
When I fuck up 10 minutes later and realize I misspelled something, or like in that original tweet, this tweet becomes relevant again. I called it Finding Neverland, not Leaving Neverland. And
right,
I wanted
which is a totally different.
Right. And it was 10 minutes into the tweet and I already had a bunch of reactions to it. So I was just like, I'll just say something in the bottom about, it being the wrong name in there.
Well, you know what's crazy? Just talk about that right there. We talk about editing Twitter. If we went and created a fake news site and had a bunch of bots and said, breaking news, Twitter to add edit feature, click here.
Right.
A bunch of people would buy it.
We got to get a bunch of bots to go around and be like, DFF, hottest new podcast.
Or we've got to realize that in a world where you're becoming ever more tied to your social media presence, we can't even have things like bots. That's we don't even want to talk about it though, because what I was talking about earlier, that fucking digital citizenship
I'm
solution.
sure that's an unpopular idea.
It's a horribly unpopular idea, but it's a solution to this idea of bots, because in a world where once again everything that you do online becomes increasingly important in your real life, we can't have fake people running around. We can't. It's like having a bunch of, think about it. It'd be like having a bunch of ghosts running around that look like people, but are just holograms doing shit, and us trying to react to it and determine who's real and who isn't. It's absurd.
If you remember Google Plus, that was Google's effort to try to I remember when that happened was like, we're going to type, it was what they were kind of do with the trolling element, the anonymous element. Like, look, your name is going to have to be used when you make a comment. It's going to be tied to you as a person and be your actual name.
Right.
And people fucking rebelled, dude. They're like, no, fuck that. I want to be fucking, Goat Fucker 87. I want to be Weeaboo 99.
And I understand that. That's why I give that anonymous account option, because it's just like some people don't want to be directly tied to an opinion. Some opinions are horribly unpopular.
There's a lot of people that if they're in any database, even whether they are or not already,
right,
they're just like, no, everything's through Tor. I'm a VPN. I'm protected. I don't want anyone to know my shit. And it's like,
yeah. See, I gave up on that a long time ago. I watched our privacy die. I used to live in a time where privacy was something that you could almost attain here in America still, and now it's completely gone.
It's dead.
So anyway, yeah, nice,
so,
cool, cool philosophical tinged episode here.
Yeah, I liked it. A lot of different examples of social media hoaxes and the weird impacts they've had on our society, and a lot of interesting tangents as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the YouTube comments down below, or you could comment on the Patreon post of this as well.
I prefer that. Yeah. I like those.
I tend to like those a little better too, but I read them both.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's also available to you, and let us know what you thought. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed recording it. And have a good one, y'all.
Later.
Peace, guys.
See you on Monday with another episode.